Our products are organically sourced natural healthy foods from Nigeria, West Africa, sourced directly from the small local farmers. At Naturalike, we believe what you put in your body and on your body can dramatically impact your health and well-being. Boost your energy levels and satisfy your cravings with a healthy dose of natural sweetness from our products. We're excited to help lead African foods and products into the global health and wellness markets. Follow us on Instagram at Naturalike, on Facebook at Naturalike LLC, and YouTube at Naturalike TV. These organically sourced foods are available at our Amazon store, amazon.com/Naturalike. Email us at naturalikeproducts@gmail.com.
Peace, family. I hope all is well. I hope your Monday is going well. Please hit that like button. Well, I hope you had a great weekend as well. I hope you had an awesome weekend. I hope you had fun. I know a lot of Juneteenth celebrations took place this weekend. I know Sleepy Joe Biden was on stage. Well, I know Sleepy Joe Biden, there was a Juneteenth event at the White House, and Sleepy Joe Biden literally froze. So, but anyways, I hope you guys had an awesome weekend. You had fun, you ate barbecue, hopefully everything you wanted to do over the weekend, you were able to partake in. Hit that like button again. Please hit the like button. Also, make sure you share and make sure you subscribe. I will greatly appreciate it. Before we get started, Jesse, I want you to call in as well. We'll put the link in the chat room in about 30 minutes, and you guys are more than welcome to call in. Before we get started, once again, please hit that like button. Make sure you share and make sure you subscribe. I will greatly appreciate it. I have a couple of announcements. Announcement number one, we are rolling to Nigeria in a couple months. Well, man, in less than 2 months, we are rolling to Nigeria. We leave August 4th. And guess what? We have one spot remaining. We have one spot remaining for Nigeria for the Oshun Festival Tour. If you are interested in joining us, please visit donfo.africa. Again, please visit donfo.africa to learn more. Again, we have one spot remaining. We'll love to have you. We'll love to host you. Come and enjoy the beauty of Nigeria. Come and have fun in Nigeria, the number one country in Africa, the number one country of the Black race. I know you guys see what's going on in South Africa right now. I know you guys see what's going on in South Africa right now. So the truly blackest country in Africa, in the world, is Nigeria. So looking forward to seeing you guys, looking forward to hosting you guys. Can't wait to go. I was just in Nigeria last month after Senegal. So after the Jazz Festival tour, when the group went back, I took a flight to Nigeria and spent some time in Osun State, and also was in Lagos and let me raise this camera up a little bit, guys. Please forgive me. Come on up. There we go. Okay, there we go. That's better. So spent some time in Osun State, and then also went to Lagos, spent some time in Lagos. So looking forward to doing that again. I love Nigeria. I love my country. Hold on, where's my Nigeria passport at? Let me just, hold on, guys. Love my country. I love my country of Nigeria. I love my country of Nigeria. Absolutely. I love my country of Nigeria. I just get emotional. I get emotional when it comes to my country of Nigeria. I get emotional. I love my country. Hold on, guys. In fact, I got a song for you guys. I got a song for you guys. Hold on one second. Here we go. Real quick, real quick. This is for y'all. This is for everyone who loves their country of Nigeria. This is for you guys right here. This is for you. This is for you. Hold on. It's coming. It's coming. It's coming. It's coming. Hold on, guys. Here we go. Here we go. Here we go, guys. This is for y'all. This is for y'all. This is for y'all. For y'all. Hold on. Hold on. I got shit free. Oh, here we go. This is for y'all.
If them differ all over, even if them burn the oil, Nigeria goes survive. I say if them drink the oil, no matter how them try, Nigeria goes survive. I root them strong for ground, ancestors no go green, Nigeria goes survive. The God of thunder and lightning, unite and shield Nigeria, Nigeria goes survive. Nigeria goes survive. Africa goes survive. My people go survive. Oh, Nigeria goes survive. Nigeria goes survive. Africa goes survive. My people go survive. Oh, Nigeria goes survive.
Hey!
Andrew, don't check out. Oh. Say what?
You haters, Nigeria is not going nowhere.
Nigeria goes survive. Now who go die for you? Oh? God is thicker than water. Nigeria goes survive. If Andrew doing work, and me, I do my own, oh, Nigeria can survive. If my leaders do them best, oh, Andrew goes straight to help, oh, Nigeria can survive. Nigeria can survive. Africa can survive. My people can survive, oh, Nigeria can survive. Nigeria can survive. Africa can survive. My people can survive, oh, Nigeria can survive. Nigeria can survive. Africa can survive. My people can survive. Oh, Nigeria can survive. Nigeria can survive. Africa can survive. My people can survive. Oh, Nigeria can survive.
Okay, y'all. Okay. There we go, y'all. Nigeria's gonna survive, y'all. Nigeria's gonna survive. Nigeria's gonna survive, y'all. Nigeria's gonna survive. So, Oshun Festival Tour, August 4th through the 13th. We have one more spot left. We have one more spot left. If you're interested in joining us, please visit donfo.africa. Again, please visit donfo.africa to learn more. Also, we are rolling to Benin for the Voodoo Festival, January 3rd to the 12th. If you're interested in joining us, please. They didn't, Larry. They didn't rip that from Everly Champagne King. They didn't. They didn't rip that from Everly Champagne King. They didn't rip that. No, that is the original Niger beats. Okay, that is original Niger beats. Okay. So if you're interested in joining us, please visit donfo.africa to learn more. But once again, I love my country. Larry, I know you don't love your country, Larry. I know you don't, but I do. I know you don't love your country, but I do, Larry. Larry, I know you're a Black Brit now. Larry, I know you're now a Black Brit. You don't love Nigeria, but I do. Okay? Because Nigeria is going to survive, Larry. I know, Larry, you are a Black Brit now. I know you don't love your country of Nigeria, but that's okay. Because I do. It's more Nigeria for me. Okay, let's move on. All right. So let's jump into today's topic. Shout out to Corporate Junkie. If you guys have not subscribed to Corporate Junkie's page, please go to Corporate Junkie. And Corporate Junkie,
There's nothing more.
Did a video on why African Americans are now leaving Ghana in droves since the year of return. And I've been saying for years, since the first time I stepped foot on the beautiful country, this beautiful country of Nigeria, that Nigeria is the better fit for Black America than Ghana. No, listen, I'm not trying to start anything. Again, I am not trying to start anything, but I'm gonna play this video. And Corporate Junkie, in the middle of a video, in the middle of the his show, middle of the video, he starts talking about Nigeria in relation to the diaspora, and he made a lot of sense. Let me say this. I'm going to do a separate video on this in regards to the year of return. Ghana did a great job with the year of return. A lot of people are saying, well, it was a money grab. So what? So what? So what? Reason why I say that, we have no problem going to Tulum, Mexico. We have no problem going to Paris, France. We have no problem going to all these other countries. You have no problem going to all these other countries and spend on vacation and tourism and spending all of your money. I would rather you guys spend your money in Ghana. I would much rather your dollars be circulated in Ghana than Paris, than Tulum, Mexico, than Argentina, than London, than all these other countries. So I have no problem with it. But anyways, let's get into the video.
More powerful than you, making your thing happen. Really.
All right, thank you all for joining me today. I am your man, Corp J, and I want to say thank you all for joining me today. I have a great conversation for you all, a conversation that I think is worth having. And we're talking about why African Americans are now leaving Ghana in droves back to the United States. And it's a trend that has been happening in the last 2 years and has really maintained a pace since then. And in recent time, people are talking about this, and I want to have this conversation because I think that this is a teachable moment. It's something that I think we can learn from, because I am going to tell you why they're coming back. I am going to tell you also the challenges that they met in Ghana and have since met in Ghana since they answered the call in 2019. And more importantly, I'm going to tell you why the Ghanaian president, the current president, Nana Akufo-Addo made that call in 20.
Mackie, these Black Americans claiming to be so African is silly. I may visit or even live in Africa, but I'm keeping my American passport and American identity. Mackie, who said you had to get rid of your American passport? You ever heard of dual citizenship? See, some of y'all just aren't that bright. And you make statements like this, like I'm dropping the mic. Yeah, I dropped the mic. I'm not getting rid of my Black Americanity because I'm a visit Africa, but I'm keeping my passport. Yeah, you can keep your passport. You can have more than one passport. You can have more than two passports. Some of you guys, I don't, are so misinformed and so arrogant about it. Like you're misinformed and just arrogant about it. Like, yeah, man, I'm gonna go to Africa, but I'm keeping my American passport. Who said you had to get rid of it? No one said you had to get rid of it. It's just some of our people, man. It's just, I don't know. You can have more than one. You can have more than two. The country of America allows for dual citizenship. And it depends. Yeah, like you have to hand over a U.S. passport at the airport and give it up. Some of you guys, That's why, I understand the ADOS and FBA movement, but a lot of you guys aren't that bright and cultured and understand what goes on in the world. That's why the movement, like, I agree that there's a debt owed to descendants of enslaved Africans who built this country. But you guys aren't that. The people who are like the face of it are very emotional and not that bright. And that's the problem. Very emotional. Like it's 80% emotion, 20% intelligence. And that's what throws it off. It's just, if you were less emotional and took the emotion out of it, I think it would you would be doing a whole lot better in regards to the reparations claim. But again, a lot of you guys just aren't that bright. But let's go ahead.
2019. So let's get right into it because I want to get into this conversation. So as I mentioned early on, the present Ghanaian president, Nana Akufo-Addo, made a call in 2019, which he called the Year of Return. This was to commemorate 400 years of the transatlantic slavery. And it was to call home Black people in the diaspora whose ancestors were taken from Africa 400 years ago. And that was the whole point of it. Now, I'm going to tell you also later on in this video why Nigeria did not make that call. I think it's important for African Americans to understand why Nigeria didn't make that call. I think you're going to find the reason why. Because Nigeria was the one country where 80% of the slaves were taken from. 80% of the slaves that made it through the Atlantic Ocean, they were all sent to either Jamaica, to England, or to the Americas, United States in particularly. 80% of those slaves came from Nigeria. But I'm going to tell you why Nigeria didn't make that call, and also why the call by the Ghanaian president was an economic strategy. Had nothing to do with the PR that it got. It was for an economic boost to Ghana.
And that's fine.
Okay, so let's
and that's fine. I have no problem with it. I don't have an issue with that. It's business. It's marketing. He wanted to boost his tourism. All right, Ghana wanted to boost their tourism and bring in more revenue, and they found the perfect angle. I have no problem with it at all. Like I said, I would much rather see African Americans in Ghana than France, than England, than Mexico, and all. I would much rather see them in Ghana. Why not?
Go into it. So Ghana has been experiencing some challenges over the years. It's no secret that the economy of Ghana is on life support. It has been for a while. As recent as even last year, Ghana's president went to the IMF to borrow money again, which they were just approved of that. Ghana has defaulted on its loan. Ghana's economy is in bad shape. Ghana, amongst a couple of other African countries, are on the brink of civil unrest. They are actually at the brink of bankruptcy. It is pretty bad in Ghana. And I know that what we've mostly heard is a romanticizing of the economy of Ghana, but the situation is bad. I want you to take a listen to this interview at BBC with Ghanian, the current Ghanaian president, with a BBC reporter. And I want you to take a look at this very testy exchange.
The realm's only hope.
Game of Thrones or whatever else.
But if I look at the Ghanaian economy at the moment, it's doing. I mean, let's just be honest. It's doing terribly.
Not terribly.
Well,
It's
when your inflation in your country, inflation in Ghana.
I don't know the economy in the world that's doing well.
Well,
Tell
inflation
me
in Ghana,
where you are here.
Inflation in Ghana.
The highest inflation.
Well, 15.7%. The Ghanaian cedi has fallen 20% on the dollar. The worst after Russia, which has a lot of sanctions against it.
It's began to firm up. It has begun to firm up, and we're seeing the cedi systematically appreciating against the dollar.
People still can't employ. I was just reading today. People in the hospitality industry that you're pushing so hard. Having to lay their staff off. We've got taxi driver unions threatening strikes because of spiraling fuel costs. I mean, it doesn't look like a place that I want to go and put my money.
Okay, so that's the reality of where Ghana's economy is. That interview was done last year. And prior to that, their economy has really been in bad shape, which is why Nana Akufo-Addo wanted to do something that didn't involve borrowing money, because they borrowed more than they can borrow. And he needed to inject capital into the Ghanaian economy without a loan, without having it come from a loan. So the initiative, the year of the return, while very clever and very strategic, was primarily, and it was the goal for that, was a economic boost to.
But I mean, isn't that the purpose of tourism, is to bring in revenue to the country? So I don't, even if Ghana, and I mean, he has a point, because the cedi, even the naira, the cedi and the naira are doing weak when it comes to exchange rate with the dollar. But that's the purpose of tourism anyway. You want to increase tourism so you can bring in revenue. That's just the way things are. I want to say tourism globally is almost $1 trillion industry. Hold on, let me look this up. Give me 1 second. It's close to becoming a $1 trillion industry. Hold on 1 second. Tourism revenue globally. Not medical tourism, tourism. Yeah, it's $1 trillion industry. Yeah, so why not? So why shouldn't Ghana get a piece of that? again, why shouldn't Ghana get a piece of that? Why not? Hey, if you can market and get tourists to come to your country instead of Europe and Mexico and in Southeast Asia, why not? I don't see a problem with it. Even if what he's saying is true in regards to the economy, and this is Ghana's way of, I guess not having to take out loans or having to deal with their debt and their weak CD and economy. Why not? I see no problem with it.
The Ghanaian economy. He needed to find money or way for money to come into the country without it coming from either a loan from China or loan from the IMF, because he's maxed out already on these, and the interest rates on those are really bogging down the economy. And so he and his cabinet members came up with a clever idea, because and which has since been coined the year of the return, which now has morphed into what's called what they call it right now. It was called the year of the return, and it's now called beyond the return. Okay. Now here's why that was doomed to fail from the beginning. The reason why that strategy, when I heard it in 2019, and when I saw the attention that it got, and all of these African Americans on the internet, which were paid, some of them were paid to sponsor, to talk about it. They were paid by the Ghanaian government to talk about this.
Yeah, what's wrong with that? Yeah, you're going to pay people to market. Companies do it all the time. I don't see an issue with it. You are going to pay people to market. If you have a product or service, and if you want to get that product or service out there, you're going to pay people to market it. I don't see a problem with it at all.
Airwave. The reason why that was doomed to fail from the start was because there was no way that was going to inject capital to Ghanaia's economy the way they were hoping. Here's what I mean by that. There are three types of status of African Americans that heard that. We're going to deal with the ones here in this country, because that was a call made to Africans in the diaspora. So British blacks whose ancestors were taken to England heard that call, as well as African Americans. So I'm going to deal with it here as it relates to African Americans, which is what this title is about. Here are three status of African Americans that heard that call, one of which answered the call. The first class or status of African Americans are your job creators. These are your celebrities: Oprah Winfrey, Steve Harvey, Dave Chappelle, Jay-Z, Beyonce, Nicki Minaj, your celebrities. And in that also, you had business owners that heard that call. Now, these individuals went to Ghana. They went to visit Ghana. We saw them. We saw publicity. We saw pictures. However, these individuals within this status were never going to move to Ghana, okay? Because these are your job creators. The idea of having these individuals with deep pockets, these are job creators in the United States with that influence and resources, moving their resources from the United States to Ghana was never going to happen. That was never going to happen, okay? And these were perhaps the type of people that he was hoping to pull into Ghana, but there was no way. With the tax bracket that Oprah Winfrey is getting in the United States, with the tax bracket that a lot of these business owners, the job creators, the small percentage of African Americans who are creating jobs in the country, they were not going to move to Ghana. So that exempts those people. That's by the way. And then the second status are your working class individuals, the ones with jobs, the ones with either an 8 to 5, 9 to 6, whatever. These ones that have jobs, they're the ones that either make hourly wage or make salary, anywhere from either $40,000 a year, 50, 60, 80, 90, 100, whatever. Your active workforce. that are African Americans weren't going to move. Okay, because essentially what will happen is they have to quit the job and they have to move to a different country. And the idea of quitting a job that you've made a livelihood with, you've built your home, that wasn't going to happen. So these ones did not move. Okay, so now you have these two heavy hitters, the job creators and the workers, your workforce. That wasn't going to happen. Now leaves you on the third status, the ones that really did make the move. These were your unemployed African Americans, the ones that have already dropped off the labor market. They weren't actively working in the labor market. And when I mean dropped off the labor markets, these weren't your W-2s and they were not your 1099s. Okay, when I mean 1099s, I'm talking about those who are 1099s with a brick and mortar store in the United States. They weren't going to move. Okay, I'm talking about these ones were your influencers, basically your social media sensation, your social media influencers who get their primary source of income from either YouTube, Instagram. However, it's a small market, and these are the ones that answer the call to Ghana. The number that has since been reported of these particular pocket of individuals that made that call, the number that's floating around is a total of about 1,500 of those that have since made the way to Ghana. But half of those have returned and have since returned back to the United States, and many also are following suit. Here's why they're coming back. And I'm going to deal with that pocket of individuals I told you about that are the ones that have dropped off, the ones that dropped off the job market, your unemployed individuals who are solely dependent on their online ventures. Okay, so these are the ones that made their way to Ghana. Now, here are the challenges that these individuals found when they got to Ghana. First, the cost of living. The cost of living in a different country, never mind Ghana.
This is one of the reasons why I'm saying Nigeria. The cost of living in Nigeria is less than it is in Ghana, especially if you want a Western lifestyle. It's much less in Nigeria than it is in Ghana.
When you move with very limited resources, as these particular ones have done, isn't going to sustain you month over month, year after year in a country when you don't have a steady stream of income. When I mean a steady stream of income, I'm talking about a W-2 coming through. If you move to a different country, and the idea that you're going to move to a country and start a business, which is the rhetoric you're hearing from a lot of these people, especially on the internet, is ridiculous and ludicrous. Any serious-minded person moving to a different country will need to have a steady stream of income to be able to sustain in that country, to have incomes that are variable, and which is what the income they were making from whatever venture online. It's a variable income. That means it's not a steady monthly income that you are going to know at the end of the month. This is what I'm going to bring in every month. It's variable. So it's based on how well either your videos did on YouTube or your Instagram page or whatever other online venture that was. Those are variable income. They're not fixed. Okay. Now, when they got to Ghana, they undoubtedly found that the cost of living in Ghana was very high, especially in Accra, was very, very high. But not only that.
Guys, Accra is expensive, the cost of living. Compared to Lagos, Accra is expensive.
Even those that lived in other cities in Ghana realized quickly that when they pay for rent, when they pay for electricity, when they pay for trash, for transportation, for food, the everyday items we pay for, quickly ate through their limited funds that they were having in Ghana. And they quickly found that they weren't bringing in enough money from whatever the online ventures to really sustain economically that. So that was a problem for these individuals there. It was something that was perhaps the reality of that was not sold to them when they plugged in and listened to a lot of these people online talking about move to Africa, move to Ghana. Ghana is such a great place, it's a haven. The reality of that was not explained to them, and they quickly met, that reality. And it really became something that was a problem, which is why a lot of them moved back to the United States, because they found that the cost of living in Ghana outweighed what they were actually living on in the United States. So that's one. Second part of it is the cultural differences. A lot of the individuals that went to Ghana from the United States quickly found there was a cultural clash between themselves and the locals in Ghana. There's a huge gap in terms of language. Most of us from Africa, we all speak the broken English, which is how we communicate, right? Like when I go home, I don't speak how I'm speaking right now. I straight up broken English, and that's how I communicate. Love it. I can understand it. I can relate to it because I was born into the system. That was a problem already. So communication was a barrier for a lot of them, as well as understanding how the locals in Ghana operate. What I mean by that is, for example, if I or many others from Africa go to Africa, like when I go to visit my family over there and I need something done, like a service done, and I call a guy and I say, hey, I need you to come and fix my dad's AC, right? It's having problems. It's like, yo, I'll be there. And he tells me he'll be there in an hour. I know that an hour is not an hour, right? I mean, most of us in Africa, we know this. If he says in an hour, I'm not sitting at home waiting for this guy an hour for him to show up. I'm going to go do other things because I know he's not going to come in within that hour. He's going to show up 4 hours later. He's going to show up 6 hours later and perhaps the next day. And it's not a problem because we know it's just the way it is. For someone who isn't used to that, and they're used to a system in the United States where you call for a service man to come and fix your AC or maintenance or whatever, and he says they'll be there at 9 a.m. in the morning, he'll show up at 9 a.m. in the morning because that's a system. And if he shows up at 5 minutes late, he's apologizing for this. You're not going to get that over there, right? And that's just one aspect of it. So the cultural differences, to me, was one that was the reality of that really hit a lot of them, especially also when you go and you want to complain and you want customer service. Here in the United States, we have customer service. You can ask for a manager. Let me speak to your manager. Manager shows up and you say, hey, this person is your employee here in the United States. Your employee is acting up. And the manager will apologize. I'm so sorry. I apologize. Hey, perhaps give you the food for free, whatever. You go over there, you're not getting that.
And this isn't just limited to Ghana. Okay, this story I'm gonna tell you. So I'm in Ghana, in Accra. This is last August. I go to a restaurant. I order a smoothie. And guys, again, I'm not picking on Ghana. Okay, this happens everywhere. He has a point. I'm in Accra. I'm in East Lagoon at a restaurant. I forgot the name of the restaurant. This is last year. So I order a smoothie. They give me the menu. I pick out the smoothie. There's the price on the menu. Again, there's the price on the menu. Now, actually, this is Ghana. Because in Nigeria, they would tell me ahead of time, hey, the price is on the menu. We've increased the prices. You have to let me know what you want. And I'll let you know the price. In Ghana, the price is on the menu. I say, hey, I want this smoothie right here. It was like I don't know, 2 CDs. I don't know. I forgot what it cost. They bring it to me. I drink it. They bring me my receipt. Oh, sir. I'm sorry, sir. The prices have increased. I forgot to tell you. The prices on the menu aren't the right prices. And I looked at her. And I said, well, that's not my problem. This is what I brought. This is what I bought. This is how much it costs. And this is how much I'm going to pay. That's it. Then she went back and forth. Well, it wasn't even a back and forth. She said, well, I'm sorry, but and I was like, no, I'm not paying that. I'm paying what's on the menu. Like, I don't go back and forth. I'm not gonna argue. I didn't say, tell your manager to come here. The minute I say that, she went back to her manager. She came back, and then I was fine. But that was a true story. That happened to me recently. But for the most part, I haven't had any issues in Ghana. I like Ghana. I love Ghana. I just think Nigeria is a better fit, if you ask me. But yeah, that happened to me. But in Nigeria, they were like, hey, listen, the prices have went up. So tell me what you want. I'll let you know how much the prices are. But they were telling me that ahead of time. In Ghana, listen, they brought me the drink. I drank it. They bring me out the bill. Oh, sorry, sir. I'm like, nah, ain't no sorry. This is what I'm paying.
You're not getting that, right? They're more likely to tell you to get lost. And what are you doing? So that's a cultural difference. It's not good or bad. It's just the way it is in that country. In addition to a lot of things, infrastructure problem, the inconsistencies with transportation, lighting problem. You show up in your house and you turn on the light. There's no light. There's no electricity. That is a problem. Those are everyday living. Okay, that is sure to drive anyone who's not used to that system nuts and say, I can't do it. There's only so much I can take. I have to go back to where at least I know certain things that work. They're predictable. I understand how much I'm making every month. I understand what I'm paying for this, for that. I can budget and I can deal with the system because that's how I grew. That's what I grew into. So that's another problem. The last problem and the third one.
And somebody brought up a great point right here at now. I did not turn into a male Karen. See, that's the thing. I didn't embarrass nobody. I didn't get loud. I didn't start screaming and yelling. I was real calm. I just said, hey, this is the price on the menu. This is what I'm paying. That's it. That's all. Like, it was no Karen behavior. Pause. No, I don't know. What's the male Karen? What would be the male version of Karen? Like, I didn't get loud. I didn't get ghetto. I didn't do none of that. I was just real calm. I said, listen, I'm paying what's on the menu. And I said, you should have told me that beforehand. But I'm paying what's on the menu. Ken, yeah, no Ken behavior. Okay, there we go, Ken. No Kenneth behavior. So.
Which I think, in addition to these two that I've mentioned, is one word: taxes. Taxes is something that I'm not sure if the president of Ghana considered this in addition to all the other things. I don't know if he considered all of that when he made that call, or perhaps promoted that whole idea that if you come to Ghana, it's just haven. Because every United States passport holder, every U.S. citizen has an obligation by law, as a condition of your citizenship, whether you're born in the country or whether you're naturalized in the country, as a condition of your citizenship, by law, you must pay taxes to the U.S. Treasury. If you earn money in the country or you earn money outside of the country, you must pay taxes to the United States Treasury. It's a condition of your citizenship. There's no one is above taxes. No one is above the law. So the individuals over there, as I mentioned, most of which are your 1099 employees. What I mean by 1099, if you're not getting a W-2, W-2s are what your employer sends to you at the end of your pay cycle. It essentially has a breakdown of how much you're making per year, per month, per weekly, and also has all the deductions taken out of it. So they will take out all your taxes. They take out your Medicare, Medicaid, Social Security tax. They'll take all your tax, city tax, states, federal, if you depend on the state you're in. And then they hand you what's left afterward, your net. Your net is all breaking down your W-2. That's what you file at the end of the year of the year for next year. So those are W-2s. That says that you make this much every month, and most of us plan around that. So we know how much we're making every month. We can plan on our lifestyle around that. Your 1099s, however, are what's given to businesses. So they don't tax that. Okay. Those are not taxed because the IRS understands if you own a business, there's certain costs that you're going to incur, which is going to vary from one business to another. However, at the end of the tax year, you're expected to pay taxes on whatever earns or gains you've made. And if you have losses that you didn't make any money, you can file what's called a Schedule C, which allows you to deduct whatever operating costs you had to incur while operating the business. And you can file a loss, right? And if you make gains, you have to pay taxes on those gains. So those are the two documents that are sent to anyone making money in the United States who has the right to work in the country, or anyone living outside of the country. As long as you're a US citizen living outside the country, you must pay taxes. So for these individuals, think about it for a second. They're in Ghana making money from YouTube, Instagram, however how little that is, because I can guarantee you it's not that much, right? But let's just say they were making, for those who made a significant amount of money from their venture online, let's just say, they're making good money from that. They have to pay taxes on that, right? Now, these ones are not eligible for deduction. They can't file Schedule C because Schedule C's, basically, as I mentioned, are deductions that you incurred where your business is operating. And if you're outside the United States, that's not going.
Hey guys, this is not financial advice. Please seek the advice from a financial expert, financial professional.
That's you're not eligible for filing Schedule C for that. Your Schedule C will be filed in the United States. So you're not going to be eligible for that. You're not. So you're going to have to pay the full taxes on this because the IRS is not going to accept that you incurred expenses driving, the Moluel, the Downfall, or whatever they drive in Ghana, and you want to deduct the mileage on that. It's not going to work. Okay. It's going to have to be operations in the United States, right? That's how that is. So they're not going to be deduct that. So they're going to have to pay whatever percentage on taxes that it is for that. So imagine paying that percentage of tax to the United States Treasury. And imagine paying the taxes in Ghana, because you have to pay taxes in Ghana. That is steep on whatever monthly income you're making, in addition to the cost of living that you're faced with every month. So I would like to think that these individuals are paying their taxes. I would like to think that. However, that is going to be deep. It's going to dip into your monthly cost, and that's going to eat out whatever you're bringing in. It's bad enough that you're paying the taxes you're paying in the U.S., which can go from anywhere from 20-some to 24% if you're married, or as high as 33% if you're a single person. Okay, bad enough that many of us pay this, and we look forward to our tax return every year, first of the year, so we can claim some of that money back, right? You're not going to be eligible. These individuals are not eligible for that. And so that is a huge cost liability. And to not pay your taxes in the United States it's a federal offense. It's a federal offense that many have gone to jail for. And the IRS now is cracking down on many people who are avoiding taxes, tax avoidance, which is why the Biden administration, the current administration here in the United States, increased and expand the audit department for the IRS a couple of years ago. And one of the initiatives behind that was to go after those who defrauded the United States government of COVID relief funds. That's one. But the audit department is the audit department. They're going after anyone who is not paying their taxes. And they know the names of everyone because YouTube and every other company has to send to the IRS how much they paid every individual, especially if they paid you more than $500 during a pay period. If you earn more than $500 a year, you are going to get either a W-2, you're going to have to pay taxes on that, or you get a 1099, right? And so they know the names, the social security, and the identity of everyone who is supposed to be paying taxes. They know how much you made, and you got to pay taxes on that. So how are you able to pay taxes to the United States Treasury, living in a different country as a U.S. citizen, and then pay taxes in Ghana? Okay, so that's something that wasn't that's something that is a huge burden, because I can guarantee you one of these countries' taxmen are not getting their money. One of these countries, the tax man from one of these countries isn't getting the money. Okay, and it's probably more likely going to be Ghana. It's more likely that these individuals were not paying taxes into Ghana, which will have injected capital into the country. All right. So with these challenges, we're seeing them coming home, which is why I said that the initiative was DOA from the jump. It was bound to fail from the jump. Not to mention that along the lines of the cultural clashes, many of the African Americans that went over there went with a European mindset, and they weren't received by.
When they say they went, when I hear this, the African Americans who went over there, many of them went with a European mindset. What does that mean? Like, what does that mean? Can somebody explain? So when I put the link in the chat room, expand on what that means.
By the locals in Ghana. So there was this clash going on. The locals were very suspicious of who they are. These ones went over there with a colonial mindset, were better than you. So they didn't really get along in Ghana. Forget the romanticizing thing that's going on online right now. Forget all of that. The reality of what was going on is that there was a clash between these two. And which also was a huge problem, because it caused them to miss their home. It caused them to not go further in with what they would have been doing over there, and it just was a big problem for the ones that answered the call, who had very limited resources, very, very limited resources, and that resources was quickly depleted while they were there in Ghana. And the Ghanaian locals were not very welcoming. Forget what you're hearing. They were not very welcoming to these foreigners who were now in their land, eating off their resources and not contributing, which is essentially what happened. So now you have these 1,500 people, who half of them have come back, who did little to nothing to contribute to the economy of Ghana in terms of tax injection, paying taxes or any other way. Whatever they contributed was minuscule. Didn't really tip the scale, because of the status of individuals that I told you came to Ghana. These are not your job creators. These are not your business owners in terms of real deep pocket individuals.
He makes a good point here in regards to who's coming back to Africa. I will say this, guys. If you plan on, and I've said this in the past, Pan-Africanism without a checkbook is Pan-Africanism in vain. Again, Pan-Africanism without a checkbook is Pan-Africanism in vain. If you plan on relocating, in regards to going back to Africa, if you plan on relocating, I don't care if you're retiring, you're in retirement, I just want to retire, I just want to chill. This is what I would suggest. Create a business and employ at least 2 locals. Create a business, partner with somebody, do something, and employ at least 2 locals. That's my opinion. That's my suggestion. This is not financial advice. Because this is the argument, and they've been saying this for a minute now. That's why years ago I came up with the phrase Pan-Africanism without a checkbook is Pan-Africanism in vain. Create a job, create a business, go set up a business, go to the CAC, CCA, Corporate Affairs Commission. It's one in every country. Go there, register a business, and employ 2 people. That's what I would do.
Individuals. So whatever they were coming in, it was not enough to really tip the scale. And so most of them really fed off and lived off the resources of the locals. And that is why the current president, Nana Akufo-Addo, is not popular right now. There is a call to have him ousted. There's a call for him to resign. There's a lot of civil unrest because the intention and the goal behind that campaign failed. And what that campaign has done was burden the economy of Ghana with the new visitors that visited the country, which added little to nothing to the economy. Now, I want to talk to you about why Nigeria didn't make that call, and I'm going to close this quickly. See, Nigeria, whose economy is the opposite of Ghana's. Nigeria's economy has been experiencing growth. Nigeria's GDP grew by 3.25 last year. And Nigeria's economy has been, based on the current factor, has really been moving in an upward trajectory. Nigeria, like Ghana, has also gone to borrow money. Every country has borrowed money in Africa. However, borrowing money is not a problem because even the United States borrows money. Okay, the United States is in debt to China. Borrow money is not the problem. Can you service your debt? That is the issue. And Ghana has defaulted, has not been able to service its debt. Nigeria has never defaulted on its loan. There are articles that are out there that Nigeria has never defaulted. And here's why. Nigeria's economy, with all of the rhetoric that you hear about the poverty rate in Nigeria and all of that, with all of that rhetoric, Nigeria is not defaulted on its debt, and Nigeria's GDP seems to trend upwards and not downwards. Nigeria is not at risk of economic bankruptcy, even while Nigeria's debt is growing year after year. So its debt is growing. However, they are able to service those debts, right? Now, here's why. From the moment Nigeria gained its independence in 1960, and from the moment Nigeria discovered oil in 1958, Nigeria's mindset and their policy has always been to invite businesses to the country. Nigeria over the years has really created an atmosphere that's really invited business mindset people to the country. When I mean business mindset people, I'm talking about individuals that we know for a fact that when you see them anywhere, these are job creators. See, there are 5 types of individuals that are job creators. 5 types of individuals from different races that are job creators. Anywhere you see these individuals, you know they have shops somewhere. You know they have a store somewhere. These individuals are white people. Okay, anywhere white people are, these are job creators. Chinese people. Okay, we all know them. These are job creators. Okay, they're just.
And he's making a great point because even here in the Black community, who owns the majority of the shops? Korean, Indians, Chinese. Koreans run the hair. Indians run the gas stations / food, mini marts. Chinese got the quick, to get you egg foo young and chino style chicken for $5. And then white people, if it's not a food desert, white people have the grocery store. So it's the same thing here in it's going on here in Black America. But I would say in Africa, specifically, in fact, in Nigeria is blackly owned. I mean, you have some Lebanese businesses here, you have some Chinese, or you have some Lebanese businesses here and there, some Chinese businesses here and there, some white businesses here and there, but the majority The majority, Nigeria is the blackest country when it comes to ownership, economy, of course, population on the planet. Next to, and then Senegal is probably number 2. Senegal is probably number 2. But when you talk about black dollars, circulating your black dollar, black money, black economics, Nigeria is number 1 on the planet.
Just anywhere you see Chinese folks, these guys have a restaurant somewhere, they have a store somewhere. Nigerians are job creators, which is why when you go to Nigeria, 85 to 80, almost 90% of all the resources in Nigeria are owned by Nigerians.
Facts. Like I was saying, 85 to 90% of all the resources in Nigeria are owned by Nigerians. Facts. Like I said, Nigeria is the blackest country when it comes to ownership, population, economy, period, on the planet. That's why you can't sleep on Nigeria. Let me run that part back.
And their policy has always been to invite businesses to the country. Nigeria over the years has really created an atmosphere that's really invited business mindset people to the country. When I mean business mindset people, I'm talking about individuals that we know for a fact that when you see them anywhere, these are job creators. See, there are 5 types of individuals that are job creators. 5 types of individuals from different races that are job creators. Anywhere you see these individuals, you know they have shops somewhere. You know they have a store somewhere. These individuals are white people. Okay, anywhere white people are, these are job creators. Chinese people, okay, we all know them. These are job creators. Okay, they're just anywhere you see Chinese folks. These guys have a restaurant somewhere, they have a store somewhere. Nigerians are job creators, which is why when you go to Nigeria, 85 to 80, almost 90% of all the resources in Nigeria are owned by Nigerians.
Facts.
Okay. Anywhere you see Nigerians in all over the world, these people have restaurants all over the place. They're business owners. Even when they go to school, they translating that into a business. Nigerians are known for entrepreneurship. These are job creators. And then you have Koreans. Koreans are also job creators. They own stores, weak stores. Nonetheless, these are not consumers alone. They are job creators. And then last but not least, Indians. Okay. These 5 individuals, you can't argue that anywhere you find them, these ones are creating jobs, which is why when you go to Nigeria, you find the presence of these individuals in Nigeria. Nigeria intentionally goes after businesses. Nigeria, things like Texas. Let me tell you about Texas for a second. Texas, of all the 50 states in the United States, if you don't count Hawaii, of all the 50 states in the United States, Texas is a business mindset state, which is why Texas is the only state in the United States with a $5 billion rainy day fund. There's no other state in the United States with a $5 billion reserve rainy day funds. They're just sitting there in the bank account untouched. Texas has a $5 billion rainy day funds. Texas is never going to go bankrupt anytime soon because when Texas discovered oil, Texas caters to businesses. In Texas, if you sue a business in Texas, you better have a strong case because you're more than likely going to lose that case because Texas caters to businesses, which is why the state has thrived. The cost of living in this state is very low compared to other states. Many people are moving to Texas because their policy and their mindset from the moment they discover oil has always to cater and to create an avenue for businesses to come in. Because when businesses come in, people are going to come in. And you can then lower the cost and be able to compete on a global scale. That is the strategy that Nigeria used. It took me a while to understand this. And Nigeria is not perfect. It's getting there. It's still a young country.
It's not perfect at all.
But the mindset from what I've studied and what I've watched this country over the years is that they invite job creators to that country, which is why there's a huge population of Chinese in Nigeria. These people are just not there consuming Nigerians' resources. They're creating jobs in Nigeria. restaurants, building things. They're creating jobs, which Nigerians work in those areas. Indians, hospitality industry is damn well owned by a lot of Indians. You go to any hotels, it's owned by Indians. And they're, as well as Lebanese, are in Nigeria creating jobs. And more importantly, the most job creators in Nigeria are Nigerians. The Nigerians are the ones with the most resources in this. No matter how these immigrants are in Nigeria, Nigerians own 80 to 90% of the resources.
That's facts. That's all facts.
In that country, which is why Nigeria and South Africa would never be the same. You see, in South Africa, you have the white people over there that own, the small percentage of white folks own 80% of the resources in South Africa. That's never going to happen in Nigeria, because 85 to even 90% of Nigerians own all the resources in Nigeria. But Nigeria, the point I'm trying to make here is that Nigeria has created in an environment that attracts these people in. And that's why Nigeria did not reach out to African Americans, because African Americans are not known for their entrepreneurial background. That's not what African Americans are. Consumers at best. They're mostly consumers. They're not known for creating jobs. You have a few percentage, very tiny, but the overwhelming of them are more consumer based than they are job creators. That's African Americans, and there's nothing wrong with that, because in the world that we live in, we have job creators and we have consumers. Consumers want job creators, and job creators want consumers. So these two, it's a perfect marriage. Okay, so that's why Nigeria didn't make that bold call. But nonetheless, African Americans eventually are going to make their way to Nigeria, because what's going to happen eventually is because Nigeria invites businesses over, which is why Google is over there. IBM is over there. You have a lot of companies, deep pocket companies, setting up shop over there. What's eventually going to happen is that they're going to start hiring Americans. They're going to start hiring Americans, because I mentioned it in my past videos, low cost labor. And that's what's going to eventually make a lot of people from the diaspora, people, whether they're African Americans or Nigerians or Ghanaians, wherever they are living in that, they're going to make their way to Nigeria, because they'll be able to work in those US-based companies, get their feet going, and then be able to establish themselves where then they can then build businesses. That's how you move people in. You get that? So I wanted to cover this because, that was a missed opportunity with Ghana. Ghana missed the mark on that. With that call, it burdened its economy. We're seeing that's initiative based on the goal of it, which was an economically based initiative, has failed. But in terms of the PR that it got, that was perfect. It got a huge PR coverage and all of that.
Hold on. Did somebody just put in the chat room, name any Nigerian companies that are Fortune 500? I just think you guys are trolling at this point. What are the requirements to be a Fortune 500 company? What's one of the major requirements to be a Fortune 500 company? Hold on, you. In fact, I don't want to highlight your comment. What's one of the major requirements to even be considered a Fortune 500 company? You have to be a US-based company. You have to be US-based. Like I said, I think a lot of you guys just be trolling, but that's okay. We welcome the trolls. You are more than welcome to come in the chat and troll. That's fine. And we're going to take a look at this too, John. Most of the top 100 companies in Nigeria are overwhelmingly foreign owned. Okay, let's we're gonna break that down too. Let's take a look at that too here in a second.
but that didn't translate into an injection of capital into the country. Anyway, thank you all for watching. Please give this video a thumbs up.
Okay, so let's see here. Hold on one second, guys. Let me put the link in the chat room, guys. I'm going to go ahead and put the link in the chat room if you want to call in and add to the conversation. Yeah, like I said, I just think some of these guys in the chat room are trolling. Name a Nigerian company that's on a Fortune 500 list. You have to be an American-based company to be on the Fortune 500 list. I just think some of you guys just be trolling at this point. All right, guys, links in the chat room. If you want to call in after the conversation, please click on the link. If you want to call in and add to the conversation, please click on the link. Thank you for joining. And also, make sure you hit that like button. Please hit that like button. Go ahead, gas them up.
Yeah, I listened to the video. I'm not too sure what the guy was trying to say. Like, I don't understand his whole premise that Ghana. How did he? So he's saying Ghana dropped the ball because they invited African Americans and because
I disagree with that, because I mean, if the goal was to generate revenue for Ghana in the tourism sector, they did a great job. So that's that dropping the ball.
Yeah, that's why I didn't understand. Look, I didn't understand what he was saying. You know, a lot of these people who make videos online, they're just terribly informed, in my opinion. Some of what he said made sense, but you know, look, you have multinationals that are fleeing Nigeria daily. BlackRock just left Nigeria. Microsoft is exiting. Diageo through Guinness, they're leaving, and they're leaving Guinness to be ran by a local, well, not even local, I believe a South Korean firm. GlaxoSmithKline has left Nigeria, and I was invested in them. A couple other like multinationals are leaving the country in droves, right? So I don't know what I think the problem for me with Africans is we get braggadocious and we get into these states where, you know, the tallest midget argument. And it's like, look, our economies all over are messed up. And, you know, this notion that the African Americans, the problem then is the Ghanaian government, because then if they were trying, like you said, if it was just a tourism run, then sure, mission accomplished. But if they were looking to re-Africanize African Americans and get them acclimated to the environment, and the Ghanaian government and the Ghanaian ministry of whatever ministry that would be in charge failed woefully, because there should have been, I posted in the chat, you can get actual, again, this is not financial advice or tax advice, but there are exclusions from foreign-based income. These are things that should have been prepared from a governmental perspective,
right.
to get people.
If you earn, I think, what is it, less than 100K?
100,000, yeah. So that's it's there. I posted it in the chat. Like, so this is what I'm saying. Like, this is something that has to be done public-private cooperatives, and it's the silliest thing that when it's time for Africans to understand the concept of a public-private cooperative, they just run straight into the arms of the private, not realizing that the very countries they're trying to imitate have strong public-private cooperatives. For example, you look at a country like Norway. Every Nigerian today would wish for Nigeria to resemble Norway in terms of services that are provided to its citizens. But what they won't tell you is that Norway has a nationalized, oil fund. Their entire, and it was actually created by a gentleman from Iraq. He's the one who helped them with the geology to find out they had oil, and they made it it's a nationalized system. So I'm just saying, like, when these guys come on and they make these silly videos, it just, to me, creates these divisions that if you're saying that the African Americans are consumers, then create platforms where you can show them how not to be consumers. Since he knows all, but look, I don't want to go too long. I just didn't understand what he was trying to say overall, because if he's trying to say that Nigeria allegedly is doing better, I wish he could talk to some of the Nigerians on the ground right now, the ones who are protesting.
But Nigeria is doing better.
Doing better in terms of what? In terms of than Ghana?
Yeah, economy, everything.
No, I see. This is what I'm saying.
Maybe tour. I'll give tourism to Ghana.
But Dynasty, even the tourism thing.
But overall, even with the Dangote, with the Dangote refinery, Nigeria is doing better.
Listen, Dangote just admitted that there's mafias, foreign and local, who almost killed him for setting up that refinery. But whatever.
That of course.
No, but what I'm saying
that's what all business is like that. Even diamond.
Can I finish first, if you don't mind first? I'll let you jump. I just want to say these two quick points. The thing is this. Better. I'm not saying that Nigeria doesn't have a larger economy, sure, but are we comparing it within Africa? And that's my problem. Once again, if we look at other countries, other developed countries, and then what we'll do is we'll push the goalpost and say, well, Nigeria is a young country. Well, so are other Asian countries. They're young countries, but they're run relatively much better than African countries are. So that's my frustration with Africans. If we're saying the Nigerian economy is doing well, when you look at the inflation that is running rampant in Nigeria based on a lot of policies that Tinubu has initiated, but whatever, I guess he has a plan in place. Right now, if you hear the complaints of the people on the ground who can't afford to eat Gary, who can't afford, to get a can of beans, a dairy can of beans. We're not talking about Vegas, in Victoria Island and Ikoyi and in their estates in Abuja. We're talking about the average man on the ground. The average man on the ground in Nigeria is not enjoying Nigeria today. Does that mean he doesn't have a large economy at his disposal? No, but we can't just keep using those metrics to say, well, the GDP bumped up 2% and the people on the ground are still suffering from, not getting access to daily goods and services, which in the other countries that everybody wants to imitate, their governments are providing that. But I'll stop talking.
Okay. Go ahead, the first.
Well, I think every country has poverty, obviously. Like India has the most billionaires, the biggest disparity of income, one of the biggest industries, economies, and so on and so forth. So it's all context in how you see it. Another thing, America and people from America, especially that grew up here, have a very, I don't want to say necessarily entitled, but a very, very pampered lifestyle. There's a lot of safety nets. There's a lot of things here that are the norm. A lot of it is good. Not all of it is necessarily good. Yeah, it's good that the government is involved in things. There's order. There is infrastructure. There's bureaucracies. There is a system of doing things. Some of it is good. Some of it is not. And a lot of people here are too used to that. They don't know a different way. And when they see a different way, they automatically think it's bad. It's not good. But it's just that they've been so used to having it very, very easy. And when they see something different, they downplay it. They say it's bad. Y'all are broke. Y'all are starving. Y'all can't do this. Y'all can't do that. So I don't think it's good to involve any and all people that grew up in America to compare different countries to America, especially if they haven't lived outside of it. I think a good thing about people that are immigrants, the first or second generation, is that we know the world from outside of America and we know the world in America. So we really know how it goes down outside and inside, and we can really compare it. But if you just have anyone and everyone saying things about, oh yeah, but Africa's like this and like that, and America's great, and they don't really know what they're saying. So it's just not, it's not a good way to compare it for people to understand.
Go ahead, Shah. Meet yourself, Shah.
Agree with some of what the last gentleman just said, and just quickly add this part. Not going to be stuck on this part, but when you have 250 years of free labor, it gives you an advantage, right? 250 years. Then now you can begin to kind of have this extensive system of social and capitalistic processes working together, because we're not all capitalism here in the United States. But to speak to the point about Nigeria's economy and comparing it to Ghana, it's relative, like Gasmiup was saying. I think it's relative, but there's some other stuff that really needs to be addressed in Nigeria and Ghana, and that has to do with a part of the culture. It's easy to say bribery, but it's a character. It's a moral issue, and I think it stems from the damage of slavery, the slave trade, and the colonization. It's a psychological damage that has been done to the people. We've got to address many things at one time, and that's one of the things. And the correction is got to be through education. So that has to be dealt with immediately, just like the economy, other things of renegotiating deals, how you're dealing with your trade. You're bringing in, you're importing all this stuff, and you're not, creating enough, internal investment and internal industry, and that is a problem for Nigeria. Ghana, unfortunately, I keep hearing these reports of these seedy character people dealing with African Americans with property and just, outright just, shady. So those things need to be addressed, especially from my understanding of history is that people were not like that. You have people that probably 100 years ago would be so unlikely to even tell a lie. Because that is evident in some cultures still in Africa where the people.
Nah, Sha, these are the same people that sold all those Jamaicans. How you think the Coromancy got to Jamaica?
Right. So again,
you're not innocent people.
We can bring that part out, and that's real. We've got to deal with it, but we've got to keep that in. It's a nuanced conversation in the sense that it isn't just one thing that happened, and because of that type of character, that type of behavior, it set up Africa to be. To exploit those type of people instead of the people that and when they did come up to the surface, those people were killed in assassinations during the many coups that were staged by Europe and America. So whenever we have the good people, they get killed, assassinated, or exiled out, and the bad people, which there are in every society, get brought to the forefront. So, and I think the downfall of Africa is that they did veer away from their traditional spiritual systems and engaged in greed and imperialism.
But Sha, let me ask you a question, Sha. As an African, as me so-called being an African and you being an African American, the problem I have with Africans is particularly this. They know, for example, in terms of like Nigeria, a foreigner cannot own land unless they own it through corporate acquisition. They know this, right? Yet they'll go online on YouTube and tell people come and invest. And then with these snide, arrogant remarks, oh, we don't want your poor money. We only want job creators. Listen, look, this is how useless these people are. Nigerian foreign direct investment. Anybody can Google it, right? It's right there. It is in 2024. It was only $3.9 billion. It fell 26.7% in 2023. Sorry, only $3 billion was brought into Nigeria. So these same people that they're kissing their behinds, the so-called Mzungus, the Chinese, the Indians, they're not even bringing money into Nigeria, largely because contract law is not respected in Nigeria. And you heard the gentleman in the video. What did he say? He said, man, in Texas, if you bring a lawsuit against a company, you better have a good case. Obviously, that just tells you the kind of environment that they would prefer. They'd prefer an environment where you can hide behind business and corporations can just run reckless on the population. So I'm not impressed when they say, yo, the African Americans didn't bring anything in Ghana. No, that's nonsense. They weren't properly adjusted and situated. If you want to bring them back into Ghana, have a respect of law, have a respect of contracts. Even Nigerians in Ghana have had their property taken from them by one big man, one big chief. And then the nerve of people to say, well, you shouldn't expect customer service. But guess what? When you go to Japan, you get customer service. When you go to other countries, you get customer service. But when it's time for the Africans to do the right thing, because these same Africans, especially the elites, that will tell you, oh, when you come to Africa, I don't expect customer service. When they travel, they expect customer service when they go to Atlanta. But when they come to Africa, they don't want to provide that same customer service to the African people. You see how stupid they are?
Yeah.
gas,
Go
gas,
ahead.
gas,
Nigeria first. Go ahead.
okay, gas them up. You're one of the people I respect on this platform, but I was expecting you, if you want to say something here, at least you
Hey,
should
Nigeria
know.
first. You got to turn off the fan, man. I mean, I'm trying to hear you, bro, with the fan.
Yes, you would. You
I
will.
know it's hot. I know it's hot. You got to turn
It's
off.
hard. It's hard. Yeah, yeah. You at least know the details. See, Guinness didn't leave Nigeria. They just sold their shares to another company.
I didn't say
Just,
Guinness left Nigeria.
no,
I didn't
that's
say.
what
I
you
said
said.
Diageo.
No. That's what you said. For
Hold
instance,
on, Dynast. Can you clarify if you play it back? Dynast, I said
You giving up, but
Diageo.
you gas him up. You did say
No,
multinational.
I said Diageo. I said Diageo in the form of Guinness left, and they sold it to a an Asian, I believe, South Korean investment group. I said that. You guys can play it back.
That is how business work. For instance, Femi Otedola bought First Bank this year. He wasn't the owner of First Bank. This year bought the most shares, so he's now in control of First Bank. Business people, that's how they do. They sold their shares in any company to another one. It doesn't mean they are shutting down. Even Microsoft also announced they only shut down a department in their listing office in Lagos. They didn't shut down the whole business. Come on, don't follow headlines. Please read
Nigeria first. Nigeria first. I'm not following headlines. See, when you do like this,
hold on. Let me read this real quick.
They are not. Guinness released a statement that they are not leaving.
Hold on, let me talk. Guinness Nigeria remains firmly rooted in Nigeria. No plans to exit. Guinness Nigeria PLC, which is to correct the recent speculations of false malicious misinformation alleging a plan to exit from the Nigerian market. Contrary to rumors being peddled on various media platforms, Guinness Nigeria remains firmly committed to its operations in Nigeria and is poised for a new phase of growth and innovation.
Yeah, but Dynast, I didn't say Guinness. I said in the form of Diageo. Diageo sold their shares, but you have to read why Diageo left. They said they left because of the currency inflation. They can't make their money, and they can't take their money out.
Let me finish. So, since commencing operations in April 1950, Guinness Nigeria boasts of a proud and eventful 74-year legacy, intricately woven into Nigeria's cultural and economic fabric. Our unwavering commitment to Nigeria is evident in the substantial investments in infrastructure, employment, backward integration, and our community development and social responsibility initiatives. The recent announcement of the partnership between Diageo and Tolaram Group further reinforces unequivocally that Guinness Nigeria remains committed to Nigeria and has no intention of exiting the dynamic Nigerian market. Under the partnership, Tolaram Group will acquire 58.02% majority stake in Guinness Nigeria.
That's all I said. I said Diageo is leaving. They sold their shares to this Tolagram Group, which is a South Korean company, I believe. I could be mistaken, but I believe they're Asian based. I didn't say Guinness left. I said GlaxoSmithKline. I said Microsoft
They did
shut
the same
their
thing.
offices.
And it's not true. They sell their share doesn't mean the company shut it down. Every company can sell their shares. Does that mean?
But Nigeria first. Why? When you read why they left, you have to read why did GlaxoSmithKline say they're leaving?
It doesn't mean, but the country is still the company is still in existence. That's the most important thing.
But Nigeria first, I want you to answer the question. Can you tell me why are they saying? I didn't say that they've disappeared. You're taking an alarmist approach. The people themselves are saying.
You are the one, not me, because the way you say
so can you answer it
in a different way?
You did say they left.
Listen.
Nigeria first. Hold on, you said they are leaving Nigeria in growth. Companies are leaving Nigeria in growth.
Yeah, and you said it in a way that really made it look.
If I can interject, let me interject Nigeria first. You did say that, gas them up, and I was just in Nigeria last month.
And Dynast, I just told you Nigeria had a 26% drop in foreign direct investment, only 3.9 billion in 2023 from 25.3 billion. It's 27% drop. So I'm not being alarmist. Once again, Nigeria first.
You
Well,
made it
hold on, sir.
clear
Hold
to.
on.
So,
I'm responding. I can't respond to 5 people at the same time. I'm responding to Nigeria first. You can respond to me later, sir. Nigeria first. The problem I'm having with you is I'm not saying, oh, Gas Them Up is saying this. When Diageo gave their statement, they are saying this. BlackRock just left Nigeria. You guys know who BlackRock
Okay,
is.
hold on. Oh, see,
Read
this is
what
another
they
thing.
said.
Go
So
and read.
don't
Hold
Yeah,
on, hold on.
but let me interject. Why? I mean, why
BlackRock
do you
just
care?
announced they
One
did
mic,
well.
one mic. But why do you care if BlackRock is leaving? Like, why do you care? Good, I'm good. Leave. Let a Nigerian fill that spot.
You are science.
Well, in that case,
you made it clear to
Yeah,
make it look like all of these companies are leaving. You made it clear that way because you mentioned many companies. So you went out on a mission to make it seem like, oh, these companies are leaving. You mentioned them specifically, and you
And I
mentioned
also
specifically
said,
that they were leaving.
I also told you people, instead of hanging out around Nigerians who live in estates in Lekki and hiding away in Abuja, the average Nigerian cannot afford Gary, a dairy can of beans. They cannot buy it. They can't buy rice. And you people keep glossing over the
What is
facts that
your
I'm talking
contribution
about,
to the
what the
economy?
people
What
on
is
the
your
ground are
contribution?
suffering. And I'm
What
telling
is
you
your
what the people on the
contribution?
hold on, Nigeria first. The people on the
What
ground are
is your
suffering, and you guys
contribution?
keep bragging about rich people in their
What is your
estates.
contribution? Gas them up to the economy. What
Every country
So
has
I should,
poverty. Yo.
wait,
do you create job? Are you a job creator? The answer is no. You are part of the problem.
so how do you know me outside of these YouTube spaces? Do you know anything
Same
that I
thing you
do?
don't. Same thing with me. You don't know
Okay,
me.
so that's the point. So how can you assume you don't know anything? I'm
That's
pointing
what you
out
are
to you.
doing.
Okay, well,
Because
let me read this real quick. Fact check: BlackRock's $400 million ETF is not leaving Nigeria.
Yeah,
you
and
see
I
what
want to
I'm
say something
saying?
real quick. There's a
Read
lot
it.
of
So
people on
can you read
YouTube.
it? So
Come
can
on,
you?
get
So
There's a
can, so can you read
there's
it?
a
Wait,
lot of people on
can
YouTube
you
that
read?
really
You
want to
see, I
downplay
want you to
Africa.
read it. Okay, Dynas, can you read exactly what's going on? What did they say? Thank you.
Several media reports stating that a $400 million exchange traded, a 400 million ETF owned by BlackRock is leaving Nigeria is not true. The ETF in
Damn.
question is the iShares Frontier and Select EM ETF and was created in September 2012 to pull equity together from different frontier markets and smaller emerging markets, including Nigeria. As of June 13, 2024, the fund has a net asset value of $384 million and is trading at $27.76 per share on the New York Stock Exchange, ARCA. Fund not leaving Nigeria. A cursory analysis of the portfolio breakdown reveals that Dangote Cement and Afriland Properties PLC were the only Nigerian companies on their list with an equity value of about 5.3 million and 10.7 respectively. The assumption of some of the reports may have misconstrued this fact, believing that the entire $400 million in ETF was only invested in Nigerian equities. Leaving Nigeria suggests the entire $384 million of the fund's investment is in Nigeria, which is not the case as stated. The funds invest in several other countries, with Dangote Cement being the only major Nigerian company in the portfolio, with just 1.3% of the entire fund portfolio. The fund created in September 2012 pulls equity together from different frontier markets and smaller emerging markets. On fund's decision to liquidate, on June 7, 2024, the board of directors of iShares, a subsidiary of BlackRock, approved the proposal to liquidate the iShares Frontier and Select EM ETF, the fund. Let's hear what this means in a nutshell. iShares Inc. has decided to close and liquidate the fund with currency conversions affecting the timing. The fund is in an extended liquidation period during which it will not follow its usual investment objectives and will sell its assets holding proceeds of cash and cash equivalents. The fund will cease trading and stop creating and redeeming creation units after the market closes no earlier than August 12, 2024.
So they're liquidating, Dynas.
The last trading date is expected around March 31st, 2025, with liquidation 3 days later. The fund's website will update with these dates, and more details are available in the prospectus.
So once again, they're reducing their holdings. This is why I said foreign direct investment. I'm glad you read it. They're liquidating most of their shares. Not only that, if you check a different source, it tells you this same fund has actually liquidated $5.2 million of its shares in different companies in Kenya, like Safaricom, the Equity Group, and the KCB. So gas them up, they didn't just pull this out of thin air. And once again, if you read what they said, the problem they're having is that
but you said they're completely leaving, and they're not.
I said BlackRock left Nigeria.
But they're not.
So if they're liquidating majority of their holdings and they're only keeping Dangote,
right? So they're not leaving.
That's a decision they can go back on. They can do whatever they want.
Yeah, I mean, that's what that happens all the time. People liquidate, people sell, acquire. I mean, it's business. Yeah.
So let me ask you a question, Dennis. If I leave your state, if 90% of my assets leave your state, is that not technically leaving?
No, because you can still invest. You can still invest back in. If you take the entire company out, that makes it that.
Gas them up. You just answered your question. It's not.
If you take the entire company out, then that comes with a bunch of other proceedings that will require you to pay more money. If you leave completely, it messes it up completely, because now if you want to come back, now you got to go through this whole process, invest money, and it's a mess. If you still stay there, you can just invest and put money back in. If you leave completely, then that means you want nothing to do with that. If you still stay there, that means you could still invest, and you want to invest whatever you want. It's like you're to downplay Africa.
Let me pass that. Fosa, unmute yourself, Fosa. And Fosa, unmute yourself.
Good evening, brother Dynast. My Nigerian brother. Good evening. How is everything? How is the family? How is
everyone is fine. All is well.
Okay, thank you. Brother, gas them up, my Nigerian brother. The controversial gas them up. And first Nigeria first, and my other brother there, the first. So what I want to say, I listened to the video you played, brother Dynast, talking about Americans and African Americans returning to Ghana and Nigeria. You know what people really don't understand? Why I agree almost completely, almost 100% with what Corporate Junkie said, almost 100%, because my views align with him, because the idea of going to Ghana is good, but that comparison between Ghana is just like one state. Nigeria has 36 states. Abuja is the capital. If you want to count it a state, it's not really a state. It's the federal capital territory. Makes it 37. Abuja is Ghana is hardly bigger than Lagos. Not to talk of Delta State, not to talk of Oyo State. So what I'm talking about is that in a place like that, there will be scarcity of land. If 1 million African Americans spread themselves inside Nigeria, 1 million African Americans, you will not even know that somebody entered inside Nigeria. You will not even know. Nigeria is so massive, it's like a continent of its own. But if you are not from there, if you have not really lived in Nigeria, you will not know how massive Nigeria is. So the point I'm trying to make is that when you are just packing yourself into a small country like that is almost like the size of Lagos, just one state in Nigeria, how do you think there will not be scarcity of resources, scarcity of land? And it's a developing country, But in Nigeria, so America can say they want to live in Port Harcourt, they want to live in Calabar, they want to live in New York, they want to live in Abeokuta, they want to live in Benin City, they want to live in Warri, they want to live in Asaba, and so on. They want to live in Saple. Nigeria is so massive. All of you, including Brother, you only know 1% of Nigeria yet. Of all your years you have been going, you only know 1%. Nigeria is so massive. So that's why I always advocate that African Americans, they should try to establish a relationship with Nigerians there. We are family. I always say this on your show, Brother. I love these people, these African Americans, because maybe it's because of my level of education, but not an average Nigerian at home doesn't know if there's African American. It's some of us who are literate, like the class of gas them up Nigerian first. These are some of us that know about African Americans. We are the ones that are trying to build the bridge. Many people don't know, they don't care, even without Nigeria. But some of
Can you
us
make it
care.
easier for African Americans to move to Nigeria so that we can get citizenship, so that we can buy land, and that there is infrastructure decent? Not, it doesn't have to be, you know, like America, but it needs to be some kind of decent infrastructure where we can get our power and get our whatever it is that, you know, infrastructure provides. Can Nigeria do that?
That's like having a sovereign place.
See, Sean, the issue I have with that is
let
me just jump in real quick. The problem I have with that is other groups of people, they're coming to Nigeria and they're not complaining about that stuff. I mean, Black Americans, we brag about how we built the pyramids, we brag about how we built America, but then when it comes to like Africa, it's like, oh, you know, why is this not that? Why isn't it like this? Well, be the solution.
Yeah, I'd like to add to that real quick.
That's not accurate.
Because other groups of people don't complain about. I mean, I get it. I know Nigeria has different. I know. In fact, I'm gonna tell you a true story. In 2018, when I was in Nigeria, right, I was meeting with the he was like the director of culture and tourism of Osun State, and I said to him, you know, these roads are bad. He looked at me and he said, Dynast, I know. So it's like they know. I mean,
but Dynast,
they know. Like we had to fix the problem because again, we built the pyramids. We taught the white man how to wipe his ass. You know, we did this. We taught the Greeks how to read and write. We built America, but when it comes to Africa, we have all these demands, and it's like, well, we just go over there and build. All right, go ahead.
But Dynast, how many foreigners that you say? Hold on, let me just respond to Dynast. Dynast, how many foreigners? Because I get that argument, right? People should, as Booker T, right? We cast down your bucket where you are. Great argument. But my thing is this: it is a fact that when foreigners come into Nigeria, one, they're coming as within that group economics paradigm. And so they're coming as a collective. And two, you know, and I know foreigners have open access to the governments. A lot of times the foreigners, other than maybe working if they have a factory in a facility that's in a dilapidated area, they're not living in those type of conditions. At least the African Americans in Ghana were living in some of those conditions. You know, they weren't hiding off in essence. They were trying to acclimate themselves to the local environment with no help from the government. But when foreigners, when Lebanese, when other Chinese, when other groups go into Africa, they're getting concessions from the African governments. What is the African?
I like to add.
One mic, which proves the point. The video we watched, they're coming over and creating jobs, and we're not. I guarantee you, if we come over and create jobs, we'll get those same concessions.
I like to add to what he was saying.
Hold on. Let the folks finish, and I'll pass it. We win it. Go ahead, folks.
Okay, please. You know what I'm saying this, right, Dynast? You know why I really agree with what Corporate Junkie said. That the African Americans that come to Africa, they are not the investors, and Nigeria is a country that is industrializing. Please just let me finish. You understand what I'm talking about? Because I really want, if any of my African American brothers and sisters are listening, I wanted to understand this perspective also. It's important, you know. So, like in the state where I come from now, Edo State, the largest Russian mining company in the world is in Edo North now, because gold has been discovered there and other lithium, limestone, everything. They are mining there now. They are building there. Okay, this is something Africa. It's not only about tourism. This is something, for instance, now, if the African American community, they have a consortium, maybe like they just 20 people come together like this, put heads together. Let's raise a bond, $1 million bond, $2 million. That is what Corporate Junkie is talking about. Even Nigeria Minister of Trade and Industry will even receive you in his office. That is what Nigeria really don't have time to go and wait at the airport to welcome a tourist. Nigeria is like China. The way Nigerians think, we are very close to the way Chinese think. We are not really care about tourists. That you come. Even we are tourists ourselves. We have over 250 million. So it's not like a country that is 20 million people you can threaten with. We are not coming to your country. If you don't even come, we will not notice it. If you come, we will not also notice it. But
Right.
if you come,
but let me ask
and
you
I like to add. I'd like
If
to
you
add
come,
to
if you come, you have a
No,
let
no,
me give you.
we
Let
winning
me
is
give you.
next.
If you
We
come,
winning is
you have a
next. Go ahead.
place. You have a place in Nigeria. If you come, you are an African American. It's not about discussing on YouTube. Make the trip. Go to the place. Seek information. There's the diaspora. Abike Dabiri, the former parliamentarian. She is the one in charge of Nigeria diaspora. Google this thing. Find out this information. Book appointment. This thing is working. I've seen people saying it on YouTube how they got in contact with Nigeria diaspora community, and they're in America, and they established a contact with the Nigerian government. People just come to YouTube. They don't even. People be asking questions on platform, and there's YouTube there that you see Nigeria official quarter. You see everything. You follow the one you want to follow in this day and age. I want Americans to black Americans to come like that. Ask any black American consulting on how that will establish a contact with the state government. They will say they want to establish a mine. They want to establish a mining company in Edo State. That in a matter of 5 years, you will see black millionaires springing up in America just from that venture. That's what we are talking about. It's not about coming to Nigeria with $10,000 for tourism. You can people in Nigeria can spend that in a bar in 1 hour. There's money in that country. You know, a 19-year-old can spend that one in the bar. But we are looking for people that will invest. You know, not people that will come and look at Ogbari.
Why would they invest in your country when your country is not productive?
All right, let
You see how silly you are. But I'm just telling
Dear
you
God.
now. I'm telling you
right. Yeah, let me pass it. We winning. Go ahead. We winning.
Oh man, who needs white supremacists when you got gassed them up? But what's going on, Prince Dinas?
What's going on, man?
Okay, so I talked to one of my Nigerian friends on Clubhouse yesterday, and he had a situation where he's saying that there's so much opportunity of the power stations and having scenarios of both the solar and also having situation of real estate development. Now, when it comes to the population boom, in 20 years, it's going to be 1.3 billion population in Nigeria.
If I can interject real quick, Nigeria is set to be like the number 5 economy in the world in like the next 40 years.
Dude, you had Goldman Sachs already having high projections. Now, what gassed them up said, they're just liquidating so they can just rebalance their portfolio. They're not leaving anywhere. If they cut 5 to 10%, that's literally them just liquidating some gains that they made over 5 to 10 years previously. So when it comes to that situation, I see a lot of scenarios where the Dangote refinery will help open up the transport and logistical sectors. It already has the projections of 150,000 direct jobs that could be able to be supplied on a year-over-year scenario because it's a $20 billion plant. This is literally them having a situation where they can save money on any import cost and they could be able to become a net exporter, essentially what Donald Trump had his proposal and did in 2019 in the United States. So I yield my mic. I'm not going off emotion. I do have
Yeah,
people
but you call me a white supremacist and you don't know anything about me, so you're definitely going off emotion.
Because that sounds on the situation of
I can say something real quick.
Because you don't know me. You don't know. I'm actually in Nigeria. I'm one of the people on the streets in Nigeria. I'm not listening. Listen, I'm not one of those Nigerians who hide off. Yeah, you will respond in 30 seconds, sir. I just want to let this guy know. I'm not one of these Nigerians that hide off in estates and hide off in Abuja somewhere. I'm on the streets. Right? I take the damn phones. I'm sitting there hearing what the people on the streets are saying. So they can fool you with their estate lifestyle all they want. The people on the streets don't give a damn about no goddamn refinery when they can't feed their children. That's all I want you to know.
Okay, so let me jump in. Let me jump in really quickly. Can I jump in really quickly, please? Can I jump in really quickly, please? Can I jump in really quickly, please? Okay, let me just say this. That someone's blowing $10,000, we know in a bar in one day. We know that there are Nigerians that can do that, but the majority, and this is the wealth inequality in Nigeria, it's extreme, right? It's very extreme. The fact that, and I'm kind of going all over the place here, but the fact that there's death threats on Dangote means that he's doing a good job. Whenever there's death threats on an African leader, right, from especially if it's coming from outside somewhere. That means they're bucking the system, and unfortunately my hats off to them that they're in their position, they're in jeopardy like that. I just want to say that it's a balanced view of this, right? DuPont left a industry in Nigeria. They actually left a plant there that they had built. It's vacant, so that's one country. But I'm for repatriating Africa. But I would like to ask. I like to deal with these hard questions with the Nigerians because I would be nervous about bringing, 1,000 African Americans together with $10 million and investing in a mine. I'm nervous about it because I know the history of how they deal with each other with business, right? And I'll end with this. I've been studying this Ajaokuta steel factory, right? And I just saw this today that Dangote is going to be involved in some process of the steel company being rejuvenated and updated, I guess. And
That would be great.
He's going to be a part. He's going to be a part of that. However, that history it set a precedent, and it is very concerning that the history of Dangote, of Ajaokuta exists. And the part that we're not talking about is that the outside forces, the Western world, was a part of that steel factory. 90% finished, didn't go online. We're not dealing with that part, right? So it's not only the Africans that were being able to be bought out, and then the whole stealing of all the money that went in to revive it up until 94, right? That all the money that was siphoned off of it by African leaders was probably orchestrated, or at least open. The door was opened by the Western world because they did not want Nigeria to create another industry outside of oil that would help to develop an anchor industry that would help Africa develop. They did not want that. And so as long as we can be in a position where we're a threat to them, and if that's what Dangote is and that refinery is, then we're in a good place, because that means that they're not controlling the situation. I'm gonna land there.
Thank you very much. You know that
Brilliant.
Dangote was in Caribbean a few weeks ago, and now they're even planning to set up a terminal, in Caribbean, where they will be getting cheaper fuel supply from Nigeria, direct from Dangote refinery, which is a blessing to the Black community. You find this story on YouTube. You find it on the video on YouTube. You type it, Dangote Caribbean. Now they are planning to the Caribbean region is for me. I'm a Pan-African. Anything, whether it's Caribbean, anywhere. Anywhere I see my people, I respond. So I was so excited when I saw the Dangote in Caribbean, discussing with the Caribbean leaders, and entrepreneurs, how they are going to set up a terminal in the Caribbean region, where Dangote, he said between 18 to 20 days they will be receiving the vessel, the petrol vessel will be coming, and even for his cement. What I'm saying is that because they can get it cheaper from Nigeria than they can get it anywhere, that from Canada or from America or from other places. So the point I'm trying to make is that this industrialization effort that is going on in Africa generally is helping to drive the unity between us in Africa, and Africans in diaspora, like in Caribbean, in the United States. That's what I'm so concerned about, because at the end of the day, a policeman sees me, he doesn't know if I'm in Nigeria or a Black American. He doesn't even know until maybe I speak. He sees me as a Black person. A Chinese person sees me as a Black person. It doesn't matter until you bring out your American passport. Oh yeah, I'm a Black American. It doesn't even matter to him or her because you are Black. So we should also try to fight for our own selves too, not always bringing ourselves down. When I look at Black Americans, I see positivity. You understand? I see positivity all around my brothers and sisters in America. I see positivity. I don't see why an average American should look down on himself or herself, because you guys have done great, considering the circumstances and the environment in which you found yourself, which you did not ask for. Destiny brought it upon you.
About Nigeria?
You said?
Do Nigerians feel the same way about Nigeria?
If Nigerians feel the same way about Nigeria, I don't understand.
Yo, Isaac,
hold on. I want to respond to the guy. He just said that he sees greatness and all this other stuff. Do the Nigerians on the ground feel the same way about their country?
I feel the same way. I can speak for myself.
I didn't say you. I said the common Nigerian right now. When you listen to channels news, when you watch the reports, when you read the Vanguard, the NTA, when you watch all these things, the average Nigerians on the ground feel the same way you feel about their Nigeria.
I'm sure many Nigerians
to be
feel
honest,
this way.
they don't, and the reason for that is because while we were growing up, we were told that it is government that create job, and that's a mistake. Government don't create job. Yes, they create a enable environment and good policy. Citizens are the one creating jobs. That's why you have the private sector. Nigeria, see, it was way back in the 90s, whereby the Nigerian government run everything. That was when the Nigerian government create job. But it's like most Nigerians forget that we have transit now. It is the private sector that control things in Nigeria. No, it's no longer
government. It's no longer government. Yeah.
So it is the Nigerian citizen that will create job for other Nigerians.
And linchpin businesses will be created with this refinery because it's saving $26 billion in import costs. Do you know how significant that is? The refinery will literally reduce $26 billion annually in foreign exchange costs.
And it is this
could be redirected in different sectors.
Nobody's debating the refinery. Nigeria's had. I don't know why everybody's losing their shirt over the refinery. Hold on, sir. Nigeria's had 4 refineries that have been purposely undermined by internal and external agents. The same elites that are telling you to come and invest your money were all selling out to the MI6 and the CIA, selling out those refineries in the first place. So I'm not losing my shirt over Dangote's refinery. Great. Kudos to Dangote. I hope he does more.
We don't know why. Nigerians,
let me finish.
Man, you dominate the mic.
Nigeria first. Let me finish. Nigeria first. Let me finish. And you can respond. The issue I have with you, what you said, Nigeria first, is very simple. When you say such erroneous things like the government is not supposed to create jobs, once again, when you look at other countries, other developed countries that these same Nigerian elites run to, their governments play a major. Hold on, let me finish. Their governments play a major role in job creation. So why is it that when it comes to Africa, why is it that when it comes to the Africans, they don't want their government to have a major role in job creation, but in the countries that they run to, their governments have a major role in job creation?
Okay, let me answer you. Let me see. It is the other way because in the Western country, the private sector control the politicians. They tell the politicians what to do. You understand me? And the politicians do it.
True.
Then what are you doing? What are we as Nigerian citizens doing? We want government to prepare to go to farm and put food on your table. You want government to do it. It's not going to work. However, we are not even paying tax. Look at our tax to GDP. Tell you that how many Nigerians pay tax? When you remove the multinational, how many Nigerians pay tax? Some of you want UK style of country where there's development, but we are not willing to pay for it. Electricity, people don't want to pay. Even water, nobody's want to pay. Everybody wants things free. Recently, I discovered that even the so-called elite, they don't pay for parking spots in the airport. So it's like everybody wants everything free.
Then when you're not making money, when you're subsistence living, then of course you want stuff for free. But when you're the elite that is making millions and billions of dollars and you want shit for free, that's ridiculous.
Yeah.
Hey, guys. So I have to run and pick up my son. So you guys keep going for, let's see here. I should be back in it's gonna be like 45 minutes. You guys keep going.
Dennis, is it okay if I handle arbitration? Is that all right with you?
Yes, moderate.
That's fine. But like I said, I'll be gone for like 45 minutes. Is that okay?
Yeah, I'm here. It's up to you.
Okay, I'll be back.
Yo, Isaac, can you please email me, Isaac? Ifosa, please email me, sir.
Okay, guys, recognize.
Okay, so I would love to pick your brain, sir.
Recognize Gaslam as the facilitator of this space now. Even though he can't bring up people, we're going to have to talk about it because he can't bring people into the space or mute people or anything. So,
well, I mean, we can talk to people in the chat section. They can raise their opinions. You guys can comment on things that they raise.
Okay.
Yeah, Ifosa, I put my email in the private chat.
But listen, Ifosa, you're saying that African Americans should come and invest. I agree with you, but you see the difference is this, right? Look, To invest in Nigeria is not an easy thing. Let's not kid ourselves. When things go bad, you know what the Nigerian will tell you? Oh, that's just business. Things come, things go. So you know, and I know, if you don't have what you call rule of law, respect of rule of law, and basic contract law that is respected, the Nigerian courts are backed up. Let's be real. You want to sue somebody now. Right now, there's a woman in prison for making a review about a Nigerian company that she didn't like the product. I forgot the product. The guy went, told the police, they threw this lady in jail. We have people like Ijele Speaks and all these. I don't always agree with most of those guys, but they're in prison because they're voicing their opinion. I don't agree with Very Dark Man, but they threw the guy in prison. Look, listen, let's not kid ourselves about Nigeria. Let's say the truth. Now, when we start addressing what's wrong with Nigeria, then we can have African Americans come in droves and we can have an Africanization system to acclimate them to the system. But if we don't have that in place, we're just going to scam them. You know it and I know it.
Now, I have a question for you. I have a question for you.
When the UK company was trying to rob Nigeria of $11 billion, did you also take this stance and say foreign company is trying to rob Nigeria?
Which company was trying to rob Nigeria of $11 billion?
It was the oil and gas company, yes. And
some deal that they made.
Was taken to the UK, and Nigeria won the case in the UK.
Right, and they haven't paid, and they're gonna appeal it because they don't want to pay, and so they haven't paid.
Look, listen. Can I be real with you? Listen, you know me. When because you guys believe in Nigeria, I'm an Isoko man first before I'm anything Nigerian. So that oil that Nigeria is so-called benefiting from is from my people's blood, sweat, and tears. They've destroyed our environments. We don't get any benefit from that oil.
Same thing with us. Same thing with my state. I'm from Edo State. The same thing. We don't benefit nothing.
So then, in that case, it's going to be difficult for me to have any sympathy for so-called Nigeria when they entered into contract with those people in the first place. And I don't always agree with him. When Asari was saying he will go to meet all these people. They'll say you don't have capacity. You don't have capacity. They I should be on. I don't get capacity, and I don't go meet Oyibo. They don't chop on her. Good for her. Good.
But gas them up. Gas them up. I need to school you on this one. Let's be honest. Your state has was the most industrial state in Nigeria in the 90s and early 2000s. It was your own people that derailed those business and they left.
They are not my people. Wait, yes, you see this? Wait, hold on. When you say listen, let me tell you something. Fela sang a long time ago. Me and you know they the same category. They're not my people. I don't have anything to do with them.
Hold on, you are not going to have your own country as Isoko country. You live with
why not? No, why? Why? Why can't we have a country?
It's not going to be possible.
Nigeria first. Gas them up. Okay. It's even a part of gas them up. Is even a part of Benin Kingdom. You know that Isoko is part of.
Never. Isoko has never been part of Benin. You know why? Because we left with the Ogiso. That shout out to the Oba.
Isoko and Edo, they are related. They are related.
Efosa, me, I know my history. Oba talk, hey, I know. Shout out to the Oba. But we Isoko left because of the internal issues when they replaced Ogiso with Oba. So we are not under Oba's jurisdiction. But shout out to the Oba. We left. The Urobo, Ishan, they left. That's why they built the Benin moat. Because it's the largest man-made building, the largest man-made earthen structure that was built not to keep people from coming in, actually to stop migration from people living out. So me, I know my culture, I know my history. Isoko left Benin for a reason.
Please email me, sir.
Why is it that?
Hold on.
Most
definitely need to talk.
They are the ones costing most of
the
email in Nigeria.
Thank you, sir. Thank you.
Yeah, I'll just say hi so that you get my email. Put my name there.
Brother, somebody had a question and he didn't get a chance to ask his question.
Yeah, I had a question, but I didn't forget because we didn't march all the way on. But gassed him up, man. What makes you came back to Nigeria if you feel this strongly, my sir?
You said, why do I come back to Nigeria?
Yeah, if you feel this strongly, sir. Because I do know the Nigerians that's in LA, because I'm here in LA, and I have a mixture of Nigerians that come back, that do good business, that parlay what they made gains being here where I'm at. to go back. Then I have people that say, nah, I ain't going. Fuck that shit. But what make you go back?
Listen, I do a lot of business in so-called Nigeria. I have a lot of family there. Nigeria is always going to be, that place they call Nigeria is always going to be my home. At the end of the day, your home is still your home. There's a saying in Nigeria, just because the child misbehaves doesn't mean you push him to the lion when the lion comes at the village gate. You understand what I'm saying? So I have every right to holler if the shoe is tight on my feet. I have every right to call my people to order. The thing I have with Nigerians, let me just quickly point this out. The thing I have with Nigerians is Nigerians, we don't like to, Femi Kuti said, truth don't die. We don't like to hear the truth from ourselves. This kind of behavior that the elites and the leadership of Nigeria partake in is what caused the slave trade in the first place. Well, the behavior of the elites, I'm going to repeat that again. The behavior of the elites of Nigeria is what caused the slave trade in the first place. And those who were speaking out ended up in Haiti, ended up in Brazil, because they were speaking out. Go and read what the Arochukwu were doing to their fellow Igbo people. The largest slave traders of Igbos were Arochukwus. The largest slave traders of Yorubas were Oyos. So this mentality, this abusive mentality, this big manism, as we call it in Nigeria, we got to call it out. But Nigerians don't like a guy like me calling it out, because it's like I'm putting the laundry in public. But it's enough of us keeping quiet and going along with it.
No, gas them up. You can say your mind. I am not that kind of person. If you are speaking fast, of course you are. But when you make some certain mistake, I will be here to correct you and say no, you get that wrong.
Nigeria first. I'm gonna say this when it comes to situation. I'm kind of confused, my friend, because one, you found a way how to do good business where you're not being hemmed up. So why can't I put the olive branch to other people to say, okay, this is how you do business. This is how we do business. How can we be able to open up the structure in the door? Because Nigeria has free trade zones. They are literally looking for investors. Like, when it comes to everything, I get it. There's classism. I get it. There's a situation where the big homies eat at the table and only the big homies eat at the table. But it's a situation where if people are coming from America, where they can be able to sell a Compton house for 800, 900,000, like my Nigerian friend did, he had 5 of them, and actually had enough liquidity to actually do business, do memorandums of understanding, going to international lenders, and actually getting that successfully done. Why cannot we do that all around? Because the China Development Bank is literally giving out loans when it comes to infrastructure. Hell, Joe Buttons is about to take his ass to Nigeria because of Akon when it comes to doing business. Like, gas him up, my friend. I was just asking the situation of, man, if you do give out how to do business in Nigeria, I would definitely be open to hear it out and understand. But that's all, because most people that sound like you gassed up.
Listen, brother, I come on these platforms, I've been on these platforms. See, when people hear me talk, they get frustrated because they don't understand. I'm the same person that comes on these platforms and tells everybody, if you're in America in particular, it's not hard to register your LLC. You can go to busy.com. And again, this is not financial advice.
It's better to get a C corp, but I understand.
Wait, hold on. Yeah, I'm gonna give the game away for free. It's not hard. Again, this is talk to your tax attorney first, not your CPA. Talk to a tax attorney and your financial advisors. But it's not hard for somebody to go to busy.com, register their LLC, right? If you're making over a certain amount, get you an S corp. If you're over 500,000 or $1 million, get you a C corp. It's not hard for them to register their companies. Get a Bank of America or whatever, credit union or financial institution, get a business account. When you set up that business account, you get you apply for a small business credit card. You can get some vendor credit, buy some little things here and there. Hold on, I'm almost done. I'm giving the game away for people for free.
Okay.
And you pay
I'm gonna say something next.
I know you know more about this than me because you seem to be a credit repair guy. But you get this, you start paying it off, you register with Dun & Bradstreet, you get your Paydex score, and now you build your business credit. From there, if enough of you do that, you can start taking that business credit to invest in real estate. So I give away this game free. I don't want nobody's blood money. I don't want none of that. I want my people to succeed. But at the same time, we have to call out the coons and the traitors amongst us, because I can't keep saying, oh, this person got money and this person got money, and we got a bunch of sellouts that are destroying us behind the scenes. That's more important. So I'm all for whoever's making money. I'm not against it. Make your bread. But at the same time, they shouldn't be angry if I have the guts, and I'm not no brave guy, but if I have the guts to call out a coon or a sellout, that's dangerous. It's not easy to walk around that field when you start
I'm
calling.
gonna say this
That's
after
the
gas
most.
up. So I'm
I want
gonna say,
to ask you this question there.
okay.
When you look at Nigeria, for example, we have been complaining since 1999 about the leader, government. Don't you think it's that time we look in the mirror and actually say, do you think it is the government or it is us? Because when you look at Nigeria so-called productivity index, when you remove what the government gets from the what they call oil export and all that, it's
Hold
like
on, Nigeria first. Somebody in the chat.
let me
I just want
land.
to know the moderator. No, you're gonna land. There's a moderator. Please, whoever's a moderator for Dynast, there's somebody in the chat. And I don't know if Dynast is happy with this or not, but Negus Afro Don Doll, no shot to you, but I don't know if Dynast would want that type of a commentary on his platform. So if you're a moderator, please can you have Negus Afro Dane Doll change whatever they're writing or remove their comments. I don't think Dynast would appreciate that. So shout out to you, Negos. I don't know you, but please, this is not the platform for that, especially this topic. But go ahead, Nigeria first. My apologies.
Yeah, thank you. Don't you think when you remove when you look at our productivity index and when you remove what the government produce, don't you think we are just a nation of liability? Like we don't actually have value to the country or something. Including myself, we don't, because when the numbers are there for everybody to see. So we cannot just continue to do this blaming government leader. See, it is tiring. Let's be honest. Thank God I actually take time to study America. America is the one that put me into the current mindset, because I realized that America was actually built by the citizen of the United States, not the government as a whole. The government just didn't build everything. It is America's citizen that build America, not the other way around.
Can you qualify?
Hold on, sir.
No, wait. I need you to prove that statement.
Not the other way around.
Okay, I agree, Nigeria first. But can you prove that statement with qualifications? You're saying that America, as the infrastructure and as an institution, a nation, was built by the citizens. So can you give me an example of the citizens building America outside of public directives? So give me qualified examples.
That's by one, tax. They actually pay tax. They will see the nation they want. One, they know it's going to cost money, and they pay tax for it to get the nation they are looking for.
I'm
but
sorry.
when it comes to us, Nigeria, we are not paying tax.
America was built by enslaved Africans, so stop that, please.
Including that forced labor.
Including that, that's the whole way America got so
forced
great.
labor. But however, the American citizens
50 years of free labor of millions of African people.
I think we just listen in that what they call it.
Yo, please, whoever's the Dynast moderator, you guys. No, I'm just. There's somebody making terrible comments. Can you guys, the moderators, where you guys at? Somebody shy and the rest of y'all, man. Come on. I don't know if Alexis, please send a message to these moderators, the Dynast moderators. Can you guys get this person out of the chat, man? I don't think Dynast wants this stuff on his platform. So please, whoever that is, you guys the Negus Afro Dane Dog. No disrespect to you and what you're about, but I don't think Dynast wants that on his platform. So the moderators, can you guys block that person, please? Wherever you guys, Marie Chai and the rest of y'all, Afro Doll and the rest of y'all, can y'all get this person off the thing?
I don't even know how to do that. I don't think I'm a moderator.
It's the moderators in the chat. There's like 3 of them. I don't know where they are, but if they got to do their job.
You mean they can block the person? Is it possible?
Yeah, they can block the person from making those comments. They can time them out.
I didn't know that.
Okay, let me try if I can.
Thank you, Kayla Lamasi.
Report.
Thank you, Kayla.
Okay, block. Okay. That means more people can block that particular person. You guys can do the same because I already blocked
if you're a moderator, I think you can block them on your own. You won't see their comments, but this is for the whole stream. He has appointed moderators that have like a wrench on their profile, and they should be removing that person. I don't know where they went, That would be, Marie and the rest of them. I think Marie Shy, a couple of them are the moderators. So please, whoever that is, can y'all block that person?
Including
I'm a
Black
moderator.
Beauty.
No, not the people on this panel. Yeah, like the Black Beauty and a couple of them. I'm trying to search for their names. If you guys are listening, those people who have like the wrench, yeah, like WM Mustafa, Mustafa, WM Mustafa. If you're there, can you block that person? Who else? A couple of people. Let me find their names.
Alex, are you a moderator?
I don't think so, but Alexis, I think somebody like that. A couple of the people are moderators, so if y'all could just block that person.
Okay, where were we at?
Yes. Of
Okay,
course,
so Nigeria.
You will say, shut them. Yeah, yes, you guys are part of the problem because you guys brought in this prosperity gospel to the country and use it to destroy the country and turn Nigerians to zombie. Because if this thing came to Nigeria, Nigerians were actually hardworking people. They would have by now destroy their leaders and make sure they work. But you guys have been able to use your religion to scam them and give them fake hope, and they believe on that fake hope and think things will change. So you gospel mission should shut your mouth.
Yeah, but Nigeria first. Remember, you cannot have prosperity gospel. You can't have churches in abundance in Nigeria if your government is not in support of it. Right? Because if you want to get rid of that, all you have to do is simply make, effective taxation on all these prosperity gospel church ministries, from Redeem, Deeper Life, all of them. And you just tax them to the tilt. If you make over $1 million naira in profit, you're paying 90 to 80% tax. Simple, solve the problem.
I agree. They need to pay that because there are a lot of them. They are just like
because these politicians are in bed with these people. They're serving their purpose. Give them prayers, give them prayer worship things, tell them to sow a seed. So a Nigerian he'll see the road. Look, let me tell you guys, there are industrialists in Nigeria, right? Who, for example, there's a part in Lagos, near what do they call this place? Near Festac.
That's what we are saying.
Bad,
we are saying
right?
the truth.
So no, wait. Look, the road is bad. These industrialists wanted to fix the road themselves. The local government refused. They didn't allow them. But so the problem is not just, look, listen, I personally, I don't understand why any African will tell me that, and this is where I disagree with you, I think philosophically and theoretically, Nigeria first. You're saying free markets and the people, you have to understand, free markets were planned, right? When you hear the term laissez-faire, do you know how that term came about?
No,
Okay.
no, go ahead.
Okay. So the term laissez-faire comes about because the French state was having a meeting with their merchants. So at that time, Europe was under mercantilism. So their merchants were telling the French, the state, listen, laissez-faire, leave us alone. We'll do what we do and we'll raise tax revenue for you. You see, because the history of the Western state is often tied to the history of modern taxation. So this idea that free markets are these naturally arising things, no, these are things that were planned. And it's so funny that an African or Africans will jump, and I'm not a communist because these labels are silly, because America is not a free market country, it's a, socialist country. But when you hear Africans saying these things, they don't understand history. They don't understand the economic history. Wait, hold on. The history of whether you want to call Dahomey, Benin, Old Zimbabwe, Songhai, Ouagadougou, Mali, all of these were all central planned economies. None of them were free markets. Egypt, with all the pyramids that the Oyibo cannot copy, that the Muzungu is trying his best to copy, was a central planned economy.
That's the more.
No, wait, can you concede that point, or am I wrong? That the history of these empires that we copy were all central planned economies?
I can see that point. See, for instance, look at South Africa, for example. South Africa don't defend or whatever, whether defend their currency. It's their productivity that actually in the country that actually protects their currency. That's why when you travel throughout Southeast Asia, you will find South Africa products like red wine. You will find their most
Hold
popular
on, Marie.
beer.
Marie,
Hold
can you
on.
block? No, no, not you, not you, Marie. Can you please block this guy, Negus Afro Dane Doll? He's been writing a lot of terrible comments in the post, and I don't have anything against him personally or her personally, but I don't think Dynast wants these type of comments on his platform. So can you please block Marie Shai? Can you please block Negros Afro? Okay, she. Can you please block that person, Negros Afro Dane Doll? Just been making very inappropriate comments. I don't think Dynast would be appreciative of that.
Can I tell a little bit of
So
his
you will
little
see, you will
story that I
see,
wanted to tell?
you will
And
see
it's
their
about a friend
products.
who
You see their
is
products
from
across the world.
South, from the Ijebu people. He
Okay, go
told
ahead.
me, he's an engineer. Listen to this story, quick story. He said that he got some contracts to do some road development in Nigeria. This brother lives in the United States, so he gets a little staff together to help make this thing happen in Nigeria. So he does the project or whatever part of the project. He's waiting for funds. You know that the government made him wait months, like a year or something, to get his money, and then he did more, and then they make him wait again. So he's done this work, and in between the times that they make him wait to get this money so that he could finish the next phase of the project, his staff leaves because he can't pay his staff. So, and then he can't pay his, bills in the United States too, because he's doing all this work. He goes to Nigeria, spends some time, get him going, and then he returns to the United States. Now the problem is, and I said, what's going on? He's like, they have a good old boy system. If you're not part of the good old boy system, in which you take kickbacks or give kickbacks, then you are on the outside. You're ostracized, and the government will deal with you in a way like they're dealing with me now, like him in that situation. So I learned from that's a way that they deal with business, this whole kickback stuff, right? And it happens everywhere. It happens in the United States.
It happens the strongest in the United States. Boy.
Yeah, but it's in relative to the United States, they still have a system that is running to the degree that it's developed this country like it has. And of course, like I said, they got a jump start with the free labor for 250 years. That makes a huge difference in the success of the United States, having had that jump start. Nobody else in the world has had a jump start like that.
Please, can I just quickly contribute to what you have just said? Because what you have said is true, but you have to, what I want to say is that if you're an American and you really have that mindset to invest, what you have just said now is meaningless to me as a Nigerian. It's like lobbying in the United States. So it happens in everywhere. So I know it's wrong, but that's the world we live in China, in Russia, in UK, is the way it is. What I want to tell you is that if you have a mindset to invest, please get in contact with government entity in Nigeria. Use your internet. It's working. Please listen to what I'm saying now.
And also speak to the local banks. Banks, very important.
Please, what I'm telling you now, people are making money. Nigeria is not a fancy food country. It's not in Hong Kong or Switzerland. It's a place where you dig out wealth out of the soil right now.
Who are these people making money, Afosa?
Please let me talk. Please. Just let me finish my point so I don't lose my chain of thought. Sorry. What I'm telling you is like maybe you are one of those West blankets out there who don't have a business mindset. As I'm talking to you now, people are investing in Nigeria and they are making more. You are here looking for, I don't know, maybe you are looking for what you are looking for on YouTube, that you are just disparaging yourself the way you are doing. You are making mockery of yourself. Go there. Then tomorrow they'll say Chinese are taking over Nigeria. Chinese are taking over. Okay, but the same Americans, they are the ones that are not ready to go and take over the Nigeria. Nobody is stopping you. But the Chinese will go, this place where they have an open sewage. But the Chinese sees the open sewage in that locality. He will go and put up his mine facility there. In 2-3 years, he's become a millionaire. His company is listed in a stock exchange. But we are here, that place, the road is not too
But
good.
that, Efosa, that is not the truth.
That is the problem I have. That is the
Efosa,
problem
not
I
be
have.
true, you talk. Say the truth, Efosa. It's not true. Listen, first and foremost, that
I'm not
Chinese.
even talking to you, my brother. I'm not even talking to you, please. I don't even understand what you stand for. Let me talk to my African American brother, because they are the ones I'm talking about. Because
And I don't want them to get scammed.
No, please,
I don't want them to get scammed.
Listen to me. Why are you doing this? I can log off. I don't earn my living here. I can log off. Let me just say what I want to say, please. I'm not here for argument. Why I'm saying this, because the African Americans are missing out in the fortune in Nigeria. That's what I'm saying. They will keep saying this in the next 20 years. We'll still be on YouTube here saying no, they will not be on ground in Nigeria to benefit from their own inheritance. It's their own inheritance. I'm concerned about it. Lebanese, Chinese, you see them building everywhere.
Yeah.
That's what corporate junkie was trying to talk about. The African Americans should unite. They should form a consortium or a cooperative society where they can put resources together and go through one of these states. It's not only Lagos. There's Delta State. There are mineral resources everywhere, especially in southern Nigeria, in the whole of South. You will go and dig. You just go there. They will even give you access as African American, because these are the elite. They know about how everything about African American happen. They know most of them are Pan-Africans. If you go to them with that business mindset, I'm not telling you to go to one individual. If you form an alliance, you can reach out to a state government, the government itself. You can reach out to a Delta State government. I'm telling you government. I'm not even telling you to go meet one scam individual. I'm telling you government agencies.
Can I say something?
Hello?
I hear you. I hear you.
See, you see.
You can get all this information. The guy that sent me email, I will try and send you an email, give you government agencies.
I think
so many places where you can invest. It's not only Lagos. Lagos is just a port city. Lagos doesn't have it's just a port city, a political port city, because there are ports in other places in Nigeria, but they just designed that one because it was formerly the federal capital. There are at least 50 other cities like Lagos in Nigeria. Nigeria is a massive country. At least 50 other cities like that Lagos in that Nigeria. So I want American brothers to take advantage of this, because we have been talking about this thing for too long. When you even introduce yourself, I'm an African American, we're African American conglomerate. We want to explore the business opportunities in those states, how we can invest. My brother, Edo State government will write you with their letter heading. They will reply you with their letter heading.
Okay.
Then you also get in touch with the Nigeria Diaspora Commission. Nigeria Diaspora Commission.
Nigeria, let him finish. Go ahead, Efosa. Finish.
Bros, Gazemo, you know your way around Nigeria. These our brothers, they don't know. That's why I'm trying to enlighten them. You know where to get whatever you want to get in Nigeria, but these people, some of them, they even have the resources or the mindset to go and invest in Nigeria. They don't know the way. They don't have contact. That's why I'm telling them how to go about it.
But there are ways. That's what I want to say.
YouTube.
Okay, for instance, there was a gathering of a lot of Nigeria businessmen in Bahamas a few days ago. They had a Afrexim Bank, I think, annual meeting in Bahamas.
Yeah, with Dangote in attendance.
Thank you. A lot of governors were there. Those kind of places, you can easily access these people. You can meet them one-on-one.
Exactly.
With them. These are the
you
kind
can even get the contact with the Dangote himself. When you have business mindset, not like you are coming for tourism. Go with business mindset. You will meet with Lagos State government. You can meet with all these people. These people are looking for investors.
You meet all these people easily without bribing anyone.
Yes. You register a company, and you must have a company here. You register in America here. You register. You have a letter-headed paper. You do everything professionally, and corporately, Then you just send it. You have a website, that explain what you do. They will know that, my brother, you go hit my brothers. In 5 or 10 years time, many of you will be resident in Africa and just be having branches in America. I'm telling you, that is where the wealth is. But my concern is that most of our African American brothers and sisters, they don't know who to introduce them to the place, because Nigeria, for instance, is so endowed.
But Efosa, you see what you're to me, I agree with you.
But the foreigners are the ones taking advantage of it, and you see Dangote is going to steal now. You know, because
okay, Efosa, I agree with what you're saying. Nobody's disagreeing with you. The problem is you are saying is look, Nigerian government needs to open up a ministry or have whatever ministry is there to create a diaspora affairs commission to where diaspora.
That's what I'm telling you guys.
Wait now.
Wait. There's Nigeria Diaspora Commission. It's headed by Abike Dabiri, that woman that was working with NTA before. Put it on your Google.
Okay.
You see everything there. Abike Dabiri.
I'm not saying that she's not in existence. What I'm saying is this.
It is working. If you have not tried it, you won't know. Me, I know a lot of people that.
Me, I'm not telling you it's not working. I'm saying this. Okay, look. Let's be real. You're saying somebody, because you said somebody can leave China and come to Nigeria and become a millionaire, list on the stock exchange. Most of those people that are coming in from China and all these places, I don't want to say anything disparaging about China, but some of them are not the most wholesome people. But that's neither here nor there.
I don't care. We are talking about capitalism.
Wait now. Oh, okay. That's the part of the problem.
It's not a religion.
Oh, okay. Yeah, but remember, you see, this same mentality is why we had slaves in the first place. But that's neither here nor there. Look, listen. The problem I'm trying to highlight is that when you have African Americans coming into Nigeria, there has to be a platform for them. So you said they can go to meet the woman that used to be former head of NTA diaspora. So yeah, if you're African American, go on those diaspora platforms that Nigeria has and invest. But when you're investing in Nigeria,
not invest, create contact. He's not investing with diaspora commission. This guy just misleading people. Listen, my brother. Don't misquote me. I said they should, like African Americans in America. For instance, they want to find out from the authority in Nigeria where and how they can invest. I said they should use the government agencies. Not just use one name you saw on Facebook or TikTok or this thing. Use Edo State government, Lagos State government, federal government of Nigeria, Diaspora Commission. Type it in. We have access to all this information. You see. Then you get the bros, let me finish now. I'm not even making sense, bros. Please, Then you get the contact. You are not giving the money to them. They want to assist you, tell you what to do, tell you like gold is in Edo State or Zafara State, limestone is here, oil is here, or you can go into real estate, or they will advise you, especially when they know that you are an African American brother or sister or a consortium, a group of investors, that form a consortium or a cooperative group that want to come and explore the opportunities. They will get the audience easily. You don't need to pass through maybe one John. You go and give money to anybody. You don't need to give money to anybody. You are going to find out how you can invest. You are not giving a cent. Nobody will ask you for a cent. You understand?
But that's what I'm trying to say. But that's what I'm trying to say. And I know. I don't care whether they go to any ministry. The facts on the ground that a foreigner cannot just invest their money in Nigeria. There's processes they have to go through, and those processes take time.
That's what I'm talking about. That is the fact finding. You have done business before. What is the first stage in doing business? What is the first stage? Somebody who is just living on social welfare. You don't talk like somebody who
I'm on welfare. I'm on welfare. Yes, you're right. I'm on every government.
When you are going to business, I studied marketing and research. The first thing you do when you are going to a business, you carry out research, ascertain if this product you are going to produce, if the people will be receptive to it, from packaging to everything, to the price to everything. That is what I'm talking about. The first step, the African American brothers I'm talking to, they are not even taking the first step yet. I'm talking about the first step. First and foremost, ensure that you have a genuine contact there with the federal government of Nigeria. That is the first thing.
Let me ask you a simple question. Yeah, Mamma Mia, great. What is the end result of an African American bringing their dollars into Nigeria? What do you think they want to do with their dollars?
Mamma mia. I don't know how to answer that
Yeah,
question.
yeah, Mamma Mia, whatever. Sure. What do you
Then
think is the end
people that are
result that
bringing
they
their
want to do
dollars
with
to
their
Nigeria
dollars?
to invest, what is their end goal? I don't understand your foolish question. I don't
Okay,
understand it.
okay, good. Do they want to keep their dollars in Nigeria, or do they want to keep their dollars out?
My brother, I beg, I don't
No,
understand.
answer the question. You see, because what you guys do, you guys give people hope and you don't give them reality. If you don't give them a platform or a way for them to get their dollars out of the country, they're in trouble. You're just going to have them sink into these white elephant projects that won't take them anywhere.
Brother, gas them up. One of our brothers said he wants to speak, or I don't know the brother.
Yeah, when Dynas comes back, you let the guy in. When Dynas
No,
comes
he's already the panel.
Okay. So check it out. Check it out.
So speak.
So what we want to do, right? And I can't speak for all of us. What I think that many of us want to do, and myself, if I were to go to Nigeria, is I'd like to go there to live, and live amongst my people in a utopia. That's the ideal is make it better. It's in a situation that it's in now. What can I do to make it better? Because that's what I did here in the United States. What can I do to make my community better? What can I do to make Nigeria better? I think that what's happening is that we get these reports that may be true about how business is being done, and it turns us off. How, all of these things that are happening in politics and in Ghana with the cases of people buying property and getting scammed. But, I understand there's 15,000 African Americans in Ghana now, and most of them did not get scammed. But of course, we're going to hear about the scamming, as much as we hear equally. Like on YouTube, I get an equal amount of scam videos as I do successful, being, little communities popping up in Ghana, African American, an equal amount, which that's not the proportion in terms of which, like I said, the successful without the scam. So is it propaganda? Of course, it's always been propaganda to turn us off with Africa. The media that we saw back in the 80s when I was a kid, in the 70s and 80s when I was a kid, and what we heard then when I started meeting Nigerians and we started talking, we found out that we had been, both bamboozled about, what the reality was, because they were here in the United States, and they were like, it's nothing like what we saw on TV. We saw good times, and we saw these other things, drugs and da-da-da-da. So there's that we have to be conscious of. But at the end of the day, I would also like to keep my money in Nigeria, but that's probably not the smartest thing.
But Shaq, can I tell you something? Sure. I'm gonna be real with you. I'm gonna keep it 1,000% with you, bro. When Nigerians hear you talk, you know what Nigerians are hearing? Let me tell you. I'm gonna give you some inside game. They're hearing what they call mugu. What does that mean? A fool, a victim. They're gonna chop. Nigerians say they go chop your money. They're gonna scam you and hustle you, because what you hear the way they talk, they're not talking about building a Nigeria that works for Nigeria. All they're thinking about is bring your dollars so we can do any of these BS projects that won't go anywhere. You just talked about the dude in, was it Osun State or whatever state, who's from Nigeria. And the government didn't pay him his reimbursement until months later. He couldn't pay his bills in Nigeria. He couldn't pay his bills in America. Now, by the time he gets his payment back, because of inflation and the falling rate of the naira, by the time he even converts his money to dollars, that's if he can get dollars, he has to have a great relationship with the Bureau de Change, or he has to have a great relationship with his bank, right? So by the time he even gets to change the money from naira back into dollars, he's already at a loss. So I'm not telling you not to go to Nigeria. I'm just telling you, got to keep a strong mind and a strong heart. These Africans,
I'm dealing with that with
I'm an African.
Babalaos.
This is how they get down.
I'm working with young Babalaos. I'm working with young Babalaos.
Black America don't even, they don't even hold on.
Trying
Hold
to
on, gas them up, hold on.
Let the guy respond. Now, wait, the guy never respond. You
I know, but okay.
So let me respond really quickly. Let me respond really quickly. So I'm in another arena. I'm not in business. I've always been in culture, and for me, it is not for sale. However, I do understand from a historic perspective that Babalaos, which I am, that the Babalaos had to charge money, right? And so whether it was a chicken or a cloth or beads or whatever was the exchange back in the old days, and now it's money, right? So these young Babalaos that are going to the Ifa Heritage School, which I thank Wande Abimbala for helping that come off with, I think UNESCO provided some funds. The Ifa Heritage School, and I think it's Oyo. It's a good thing. These young brothers and sisters are going there. They're learning the culture in a school setting, and as well, they're also getting tutelage with family members or community members in the practice of Ifa. So I'm dealing with some young Babalaos now, and the money it's an interesting thing. Now, as a person that's been doing this for 40 years, right, and started in Oderemo as a young person coming out into that I'm noticing that the emphasis on money is much more, and I'm trying to bring some young brothers here that want to study with these young brothers that are Babalaos that have graduated from Ifa Heritage School. And what I'm finding is that the young brothers here in the United States are being, not all of them, a few of them are being turned off because of the money situation. So yes, I have this idealistic view. You're right, gas them up, and I'm aware of that. But idealism is good, but reality is also good. So for me, if a person like Ibrahim Traore is more in alignment with this idealism in the way that he's running this new Burkina Faso, maybe that's the place that we should move to, because it doesn't have to be Nigeria or Ghana. Maybe it should be Burkina Faso.
I agree. I can do that. See,
yeah, Nigeria first. You want to respond?
No, yes, I want to respond. No one is forcing anyone to invest in Nigeria. That's the good thing. I will never force anyone, because you know why? The Chinese and the Muzungu, we don't force them. When they find what's going to benefit them in Nigeria, they book tickets, look for visa, and fly there. You understand me? No one bothers. Same thing with the Indians, the Lebanese, they do that. So we're not going to I'm not going to come here and force anybody. Now I won't do that. Nah, I don't think.
So Nigeria first, are you gonna deny?
Nigeria first.
Okay, go ahead.
Yeah, thank you, guys. What I'm trying to say is that what I think what some of my African American brothers and sisters don't understand is that, like me, that is saying this thing, I don't have anything to benefit if African Americans come to Nigeria. It's just the love I have for them. I don't have anything to benefit. Even Nigeria would not even, people don't even care. People just live their life there. It's a unique place. But when you are enlightened, you know that these two groups can benefit from each other. You try to push what will further solidify the unity between the two groups, both economically, culturally, and socially. That is just what I stand for. If you go and ask people in my state now, Benin City, do you want Americans to come and invest in Benin City? They'll say, what is my business? Yeah, because everybody's just out there looking for their daily bread. Because the Chinese don't come to ask. They don't come to ask them before the Chinese invest. People invest. It's an open economy. So even those that can invest in Togo can invest in Togo. That can invest in Benin can invest in Benin. But what I'm talking about is that is why Nigeria did not. That is what corporate jockey was. So that's why Nigeria did not extend that year of return, because it doesn't want to be like you want people to just come. Those that
Professor, let me ask you a question when you finish.
Please, 30 seconds, gas them up. As I'm talking to you now, your type on YouTube, Nigerians that are African Americans that are coming to Nigeria to set up businesses on YouTube. You don't see even noise. They are setting up businesses across the country. You understand? You don't make noise about it because they know what they are there for. They are not doing it for me, Efosa. They are not doing it for me. They are doing it for their generation. Try to.
I'm back.
They are trying to use generational wealth for them. So, brother, that is what I'm trying to say, so that you guys can also benefit from it. It will further strengthen the unity and the bond between us, because we are extended cousins. Extended cousins is who we are. You understand? So,
but Efosa, I want to ask you. Wait, Efosa, wait. I want to ask you a question, because on Nigerians, we they talk like this. I agree. You say, hey, nobody call them in.
Mike? Somebody says Denzel was blocked. Who's blocking people in the chat?
No, Dynast, let me tell you. No, nobody blocked Denzel. Listen, this is what happened. That person was making inappropriate comments, and since you left, I said, hold on, of a sexual nature. So I said, Marie, listen, I don't know if Dynast is gonna want those type of comments on his platform. So do you want to block them or time them out since he wasn't here? But the comments they were making were very, very inappropriate. So it's up to you. But I was just trying to be protective because you said to watch out for it. But they were making you can ask everybody in the chat. They were writing some real terrible things.
That's them up. I'm listening to you. We are listening to you.
Efosa, my problem be said, this is it, right? You say that them be our brothers, which I agree with you. They are distant cousins. When we did village, we get family. If another member of family, something happened to them, the village must take care of that family and make right what was done wrong. So this mentality when Nigerians get say, we are not like Ghana, we didn't open our door because we are this, we are good. We are just deceiving ourselves and we are evil and wicked people. That tells me, not you personally, that tells me that same mentality that caused the slave trade never end for Nigerian thinking. We saw these people, and I say we because it's so far based on the record don't have a hand in slave genocide, but I'll still say we. We sold these people to Portuguese for umbrella, for rubbish. We sold them to Dutch for gin, for nonsense. We owe them a debt. So for us not to do what we are supposed to do, even if it's to build a country that is working, that we can bring our people back, and the only thing we can say to them is, come bring your dollar, bring your investment. That means we're wicked and evil people. And until we fix that, until we change that mentality, we'll be cursed. Nigeria not go progress because we don't fix that behavior. I will tell you true.
I think you are not helping our African.
No, I want you to answer that one. No, wait, forget. I know say wait, Efosa. I know say you go tell Efosa. Okay, wait, I know the shout. Efosa, wait, listen. Efosa, wait now. Efosa, wait, listen. I know say you won't teach me about business. I agree. I don't hear you talk about business. I want you to address this thing. Nigerians, the land called Nigeria, the people there, Arochukwu, Oyo, all those people, they sold slaves. They owe a debt to those people. So that debt is they have to fix that country so those people can come back to their motherland.
Brother.
If you don't address that one, that's the problem.
Brother, let me tell you something here. I'm happy that not all Nigerians raising irrationally the way you do. Because at the end of the day, this same our African American brothers, they will lose out in the long run. I'm telling you. Let me tell you why. Because they don't need people like you. You are just a ass kisser, you know. They don't need people like you. They need people that can tell them the
If I insult you now, you go say I insult you. Please.
Okay, I will draw that. I will draw it. I apologize. I apologize. I apologize. Sorry, brother. Sorry. I really apologize. Sorry. So what I'm trying to say is that when you cannot be on YouTube negotiating, that is the point I'm making. Brother Dynast, I always say he's a citizen of Sierra Leone, he's a citizen of America, he's a citizen of Nigeria. He was not negotiating on YouTube here. This is what I always say on this, Brad. I respect Brad Dynast a lot. I have a lot of admiration for him.
But Efosa, you never address the issue. I get no. You don't need to bring Efosa. Wait, Efosa might be for you.
Let him post the finish. I was trying to listen. Let him finish.
So you know they address what the person they respond to. You gotta talk about something.
Oh God. Okay, Brad Dynast has been organizing a tour now.
Efosa, allow him to speak.
Wait now, brother. But Dynast has been organizing a tour to Nigeria now. Okay. For somebody that really wants to have an idea of what this Nigeria looks like, if you have never really been there, okay, well, you can team up and Brad Dynast, how can I know more about this place? You have been going to this place. This is what I'm talking. This is what Nigerians do. That's why Nigerians mostly succeed everywhere. We are not ashamed to ask for information. Brad Dynast, you know a lot about this place. How is the business environment like? How is this? How is that? You know, you can arrange a trip with him. You get to know the place. During that trip, you know.
Efosa, you have said this thing already. They don't hear you. Address the slavery issue. You have a responsibility. We Nigerians, we sold slaves. We owe them that debt. Stop dodging the thing. I beg. Talk about that one. You say irrational thinking. Stop being a weak Nigerian person. We sold slaves. Address that issue.
I told you.
And they shout because this is the same mentality that caused slavery in the first place. We owe them a debt. Don't say Mamma Mia, they dodge. This is what fella was singing against. We be doing wicked, evil things. I'm shouting because what you are doing, you are purposely derailing the point. I'm not seeking any attention. Then you come ask Kisa. Address the issue. We Nigerians, and I say we, like I said, my people didn't have a hand, but whatever is we. Our people sold slaves. We owe these our distant cousins, as you said. Let's fix the country so we can bring them back. Don't just say they should bring They
we
know
are not
already.
we
That's
are
so
not
fair.
discussing about slave here right now. We're discussing slavery.
We're talking
Yes,
about
people,
African Americans going
Hey,
back
let
to
me pass
Nigeria.
the mic.
Are we
Call.
having
Go ahead,
conversation
Call.
about slave?
Well, let me pass the call. Go ahead, Call.
Yeah, thank you, Mr. Dynast, for giving me an opportunity to speak. Hey, hello,
Go ahead.
my Nigerian brothers and my brothers African American. I'm Congolese American. I'm originally from DRC in Kivu, and I would like just my point. I would like just to give advice to both my brothers African American, and I've been saying this for a long time, since like the 2011. I've been telling my friends African American whom they are closer to about this going back to African stuff. Yes, it's good, and I think it's a good thing to go visit Africa, connect with the brothers, and see if there might be opportunity of businesses. But there is a stepping stone or a foundation which we should have done before, like as we are going back and forth, which I think up to now, most people have never raised this point. It's building a lobby here in US. Let's not forget that United States is the most powerful country in the world. So, like I remember in the other chat which I missed participating, which you touched about Congo, somebody raised a point that most of our African presidents, yes, they are a part voted by their people, but they are put in power by these external powers. So if we African and African American here in US, we can build a powerful lobby. And lobbying, it's not only about money. No, lobbying sometimes can be just if you are a big number and go see some senators, or even the president, and start imposing some, like, do you see, like for Palestine, do you see how people are marching? It's affecting Democrats. So if we can start affecting some policies especially of US towards Africa, I think we'll have more opportunity, because the other opportunity, like I like what Dr. Anderson always say, it could be better. And what will make the power of our brothers African American here, it's to do business with Africa. Like there is a lot of opportunity of exporting stuff from Africa to America. Like with Atlanta and some area where we are concentrated. If we can come up with a lobby, and not a lobby like those of the Jesse Jackson or Ron Brown, because let me tell you something. I'll give an example of Congo, for example, because I'm from there, and that's the case study which I've studied a lot, although my Nigerian brother called me a Niger. Do you know, like, in case of Congo and Rwanda, like this president...
Yo, somebody got to mute their mic, whoever that is, whispering, please mute your mic, whoever that is.
This, like in the case of Congo and Rwanda, do you know that this current president of Congo gave Kagame, when he came to power, because he came to power through Kagame, he gave him a lot of opportunities. For example, one of the opportunities was to echo mining of mineral resources in the East. There is a company called Somikivu. He gave it to Rwanda, like Rwanda and Congo will do that joint venture, and Rwanda will be responsible of selling that mines legally. Then they will be sharing profits. But
Cheesecake did that.
Sorry?
Cheesecake did that.
Yeah, Tshisekedi did that. He even, when he came to power, he even allowed Rwandair, the national airplane company of Rwanda, to build his harbor or to install his harbor in Congo and be traveling in all of Congo. Like in Congo, you could go from Goma to Kinshasa with Rwandair. You could go from Goma or from Kinshasa to Lubumbashi with Rwandair. But you know what? Because Kagame is greedy, not only greedy, but because he knows that he has the backing of some, U.S. connection, especially in Pentagon. He was not satisfied with that. He just wanted to continue with his plan, because his plan is what? So, do you see? In that case, if we African American and Congolese or all African, we could have a lobby. We could lobby the US to impose Rwanda to stop provoking this other war, and just continue with that deal which was there, or maybe a negotiation, a peaceful negotiation. And that's what I think we need to start,
we need
like
lobby and a
thinking
militia.
about that,
We need lobby and a militia.
not like the Susan Rice lobbying, because the Susan Rice lobbying is like, it's pro-Caucasian,
You aware of the ADDI in the United States? Are you aware of African Diaspora Development Institute that just went to Burkina Faso 3 weeks ago?
Yeah.
Delegation.
I'm aware of that.
That's your lobby group right there. That's your group right there.
Yes, that's the thing which we need to do. Do you see, like Ibrahim Traore and the Tiani and all those guys? They are in danger. So if we can fortify a lobby like that, even here in the US, when they try to put sanctions on guys like that, we intervene and we put our senators and our congressmen in pressure. That will help, and that's what will give most African American an advantage in Africa, because when you arrive there, because there is already a pre-work that has been done, you will be received with more advantage, more, with more respect. And that's what I think we need, and now with the Russia rising, and China with the multipolar, situation, I think it's a good opportunity to do that. That's what.
All right, let me pass to Mr. Mo Jara. Let me unmute you. Go ahead, Mr.
Hey, how's everybody doing?
All is well.
Can you hear me?
Yes.
Okay. Basically, what I wanted to point out is that, as a race in general, we won't be able to prosper until we get over certain pathologies that we have. Right now, I want to introduce everybody to what I call the racial body concept. And that is basically that just like we have human bodies that are composed of atoms that become cells, that become tissues, that become organs, there's also a such thing as racial bodies. And the atoms of racial bodies is human beings, and those human beings form families that become atoms.
Let's get back on the topic.
No, but this is reaching at a point, though.
I mean, but it's just
I'll be getting to.
Yeah, we could do metaphysics another day.
This is not metaphysics. It's gonna tie into what we're talking about.
Okay, go ahead. Let me hear it.
But yeah, what I was saying is that those atoms, human beings, form families that become cells and tissues and organs. And we, as all of us so-called Black people, we all together form what's called a racial body. And just like human bodies, they have pathologies and they have sicknesses and illnesses. Racial bodies also have the same. And we, as the Black Ethiopoid racial body, we are inflicted with an autoimmune disorder. And the basis of an autoimmune disorder is when your immune system becomes confused or disordered and doesn't recognize the pathogens, viruses, foreign invaders, etc., that are invading your body. And instead of attacking those, the immune system actually turns on itself and attacks the very body of which it's a part of. And tribalism is a major symptom of autoimmune disorder. And that's one of the things that has kept us from being able to form, productive alliances that could create the economic base that we need to become prosperous, because we have so much internecine fighting amongst each other on different ideologies, different tribal affiliations, ethnic groups, etc., etc.
All right, bro. We got
my point.
We got to pass by. Well, Darth Raven, go ahead, Darth Raven. Unmute yourself.
Hello. Good evening, everyone, and all that stuff. Just to tie into the topic as well, if you could allow me to finish. So, from what I've been researching so far, this has been a plan that has been happening for a long time, but the West has decided from the G7 meeting to accelerate the process in which they own infrastructure globally, especially now focusing in the global south, which means Black and Asian countries as well. They want to now focus on owning infrastructure because they have the money as well. All this is all in an effect to contain China as well. So they are focused on now. That means they will own roads, own airports, own railroads, own major infrastructure scale that builds up these countries, because they will release the finances to build and own them and charge you rent. Now we always talk about what's the word, generational wealth. We always talk about generational wealth. Our problem as Black people has always been lack of capital as well. So our focus definitely needs to be on how do we generate this capital. You understand? Because if we don't, collectively we're fucked. I'm sorry to use that word. If some, we might individually, some might get through as well. We may be able to build generational wealth. But if you think about how to build money, you have to find ways to find money, or you can work together. You have to find people that have money, or work with other people that have money, come together and build projects as well. Now, if we leave it all to the West entirely to build our infrastructure and charge us rent all over, you will find in an era where we're all in space, that we're in space, and in generations to come, they will be the asset owning class, and they will own. And in Africa, we will be completely, we'll be paying rent for the rest of our lives. So yes, Nigeria is a big country, and it's a big country that generates wealth. Nigeria is so what's the complaint about? Nobody's complaining. The West is heading into Africa because they want to contain China. So they want to be, because this has happened in the UK, where American foreign companies own big infrastructure in the country, and now the UK is suffering because of that, because they get to decide the market price, they get to charge you rent as well. Now the UK is working on kind of renationalizing all these infrastructures. This is the plan from the G7. They have decided to accelerate this process, and in the next few years you will see huge Western investment coming to Africa. But that means they are the owners, they own the infrastructure in Africa. What are we going to be? Renters for the rest of our life. Some of us individually, we may escape, those who are clever to invest, but if we work collectively, we can own some things in this world as well. If we don't, then we are going to be renters in this planet in the future to come, and potentially even when civilization expands into space as well, we will always be renters. So this has to change, and we need to stop complaining. Nigeria is the place to make money. Let nobody fool you as well. We need to participate in this competition as well. That's all I got to say, Dynast.
Okay, Jagoon, go ahead, Jagoon.
And to back up, I'll send a video for anybody that's interested to watch it. I'll drop the link here that you will find this very interesting to watch what is happening as well. So that's all, Dynast. That's all. I'll drop the link.
I think Jagoon fell off. Let me wait for him to come back on. Guys, hit the like button. Please hit the like button. And Jagoon, we're waiting. Go ahead, Shaw. If you want to ask something, Shaw, go ahead.
Yeah. What Robert Mugabe did is he took the land back, right? If he hadn't killed all those fellow countrymen, he would be still remembered as that hero by his people. But I just found that out in the last 6, 7, 8 months. About that part of him. For me, he was the hero. He was a hero for me by taking the land back. This created a problem, though, with the economy and the sanctioning, right? So, but he had the courage to do that. And this is the courage that South Africa needs to have. And this is the courage that Nigeria needs to have. And this is the courage that Ghana needs to have, is take your shit back. And then in order to obfuscate, I guess that's the right word, the sanctioning stuff, get your food together, unite with your brothers who are doing similar things with the AES, the Sahel Union, align with them, create one military. An attack on one is an attack on all. This is what needs to happen, in my opinion, with Nigeria. It needs to get in a serious mode, because it's really about making money. As if the foundation is there for a government that is functioning, organized, morally right. They're not. They're upside down in a lot of ways, and it's because of a lot of reasons that we've talked about. But Yeah, they've got to do some major things, man. And I like what Gaslam said, and I'm gonna Dynastis is something that I'm gonna.
Okay, can I say something?
Let me just end this. Let me end this and say the real reparations for African Americans, if there's going to be a reparations, would be for African governments to get their shit together, and also that would include some type of preparations for us coming in, and even if it's just citizenship and being able to purchase land, those things, it doesn't cost them any money to do that. We can purchase land, we can fast track through all that bureaucracy, and it doesn't mean you have to build an infrastructure. But if you if whatever you can do toward that would be great. But get your shit together in the right way. Get it together. That's the reparations for me.
Okay, let me let me say something. In 1999, when we returned back to democracy, back then Nigeria had about 200 or something state government companies. You know what? Most of those companies were sold to Nigerians, black Nigerians. These are not white people. So most of those companies, as we speak, they are in the hands of Nigerians. They control this company. I believe, I need to say this, if those companies were sold to the Muzungu, I think we will be in a better position. But they were sold to Nigerians who, when they buy most of these companies, they didn't invest money on building or expanding their infrastructure and capacity. So, if you look at it, it is Nigerians that are pulling Nigerian backward as a country. It is Nigerians, because most of these people that bought these companies, instead of them to invest and expand their capacity, they didn't do that. That's why we don't have electricity to date, because all the electricity company was sold to Nigerians. You understand me? If they have been sold to company like General Electricity, GE, maybe those guys have deep pocket. They would have been able to, make the proper long-term investment. But the Nigerians that bought this thing, they did nothing with it. We are still in darkness. So sometimes I get it why some of our people would just prefer to sell to other race of people.
And you're saying that it would have been better for Europeans to continue to run things.
I think it would have been better. I need to be honest, because our people are just as private. Some of our private sector leaders are just as incompetent as the politicians in the country. Yeah.
That's a blasphemy. I would rather us work, like, do the right, really transform or attempt to try our best to do it and fail, than to let white folks run our shit. That's just like what happened in South Africa, right?
But the infrastructure was sold to
ANC is going to
Nigerians.
align with these white folks, with the DA. This is I can't even get my head around it. You're going to align with. You got to form a coalition. So your coalition you're choosing is the white South Africans instead of EFF with Malema. Or even if it's not EFF, another, combination of coalition. This is a mental slavery.
But some of our people also, mostly in the elite, their behavior is the same as the Muzungu that we complain about.
Okay. Can I add on that?
Yes, go ahead.
Yeah, I'm right. And as I said, I'm from Congo. I came to US through South Africa. What this brother said here, there is some truth to that, and there is a perspective. I think there is a perspective which ANC is looking at. First, I'll start with I don't know if it's the brother or sister who spoke about Nigerian company being taken over by Nigerian instead of the Mzungus. You have to understand this. In Africa or in this world, we melanated people, there is a fight which even our leaders are not really telling us that is going on. But I know a lot of people who have followed politics, who have read like the
how Europe and the developed Africa will understand. I remember Nyerere saying this when he nationalized, when he went into agreement, they got independence. Nyerere, the independence father or the national father of Tanzania, he said this: when they take over all those companies, when it was the time to repair some machines, because at that time or even at this time, most of the machines, most of the tools which we need to run these companies are not made in Africa. They are made in Europe, in Asia, especially those which are made in Asia. In Europe, there was time when they wanted to buy those replacement parts, but they were not allowed. They were told, no, you cannot buy. And he was asking why. He came to understand that the West didn't want Africans to take over those companies or to possess those companies. Yes, what you are saying at first, there is some truth to it, because I remember in Congo, when our former president Mobutu, a Rwandan, that's where I always say Rwandan, that they lie when they say that Rwandans were never given opportunity or were discriminated in Congo. Mobutu had, you can say at that time, he was like a prime minister of the whole Congo. His cabinet director, Bisegimana Rwema, was a Rwanda. When he told him, or he advised Mobutu that they should nationalize all the company which the Belgian head or the Western head, because, and this is what people don't understand about Congo. Congo is partially a United States colony, other than Belgium. That will be a subject another time when maybe Mr. Dynas will put that on program. I'll explain historically and up to now how Congo is run, or how Congo came to be in this mess. It's by the coalition of United States and the Belgian in other parts of course, the whole West, but mainly United States and Belgium. So when he was advised to do this, to nationalize the companies, Mobutu made a mistake. Instead of training those people who will take over, he distributed the company to his friends in the party, especially the Rwandan as well. They took big farms, companies, and like plantation, big, So what happened? Because these people didn't have skills for business and all that in management. After only 10 years of running this company, most of these companies went bankrupt. So I believe in Nigeria also, there might be the truth to that. But also we have to put things in perspective and understand that because of this war which is going on between African and our brothers Caucasian, there is also some some blockade to have, for example, some manufacturing tools being rehabilitated, being repaired with new tools, and other politics which is going on. Yeah, so that's what I wanted to just to correct that a little bit. So, and as the African American brother said, I don't think that will be the solution. That is the way how we are brainwashed. We've been brainwashed since we were child that the Mzungu are better than us through religion, through the miseducation that we received, and a lot of people start still thinking that us, melanated people, we cannot do better than the Mzungu. Although throughout our history, if you go to our history, we did stuff. We were, by the time when they were still in barbaric era, we had already, sanitation, good sanitation, toilets. We had already civilization. It's when they came and, changed some way, miseducate us because they had the gunpowder. Then we start thinking that we are incapable, but it's not true. That's the importance of us studying our history. Like I know Professor Small always say, we need to learn our history so as to erase the white mystery. Thank you. I will stop by that so as to give other people.
All right. Blood dropped off. Yeah, we'll go ahead and start closing out. If anybody wants to share anything in closing, go ahead.
Yeah, Brother. So I just want to in conclusion, I just want to encourage my African American brothers and sisters that there are opportunities waiting for them in Nigeria. Yeah, because I'm an enlightened person. I know that, and I follow the situation in the United States also, even sometimes more than you, Dinas. You know, because I'm really keen on happening in the US. Because I feel a part of my family is there. You know, so I feel they can benefit. They can benefit from there. You know, they can benefit from there instead of missionaries. Missionaries can benefit. It's vast. If, like I said, you guys can come. You guys can establish. Please, those that are on the panel, get in contact with Brad Dinas, discuss with him. You know, he's one of you, he's one of us. He can enlighten you, those that are really serious. Brad Dinas, get his email, his contact. He can enlighten you people better than I can, because he knows Nigeria very well. He invests there, you know. So please, I want you guys to take advantage of the opportunity, because in the future there might be fewer and fewer opportunities. And this is your inheritance. You're talking about reparation. The time will come, you don't even have anything to invest on, even if you have the money. That's why you guys should start going there now. Follow Dinas there. Make time. Get to know the place. Spend a week. Spend 2 weeks. Get an Airbnb place. Make contact. My brother, you will not regret it. You will thank me later. You know, I'm telling you.
Beautiful women in
are there.
Nigeria too, man.
Yes,
So you
sir.
can enjoy yourself. You can enjoy yourself, man. Like, I don't know why, because I be seeing Dinas, man. Dinas, he be having some fine ass Nigerian realtors, man. At the end of the day, man, we got to eventually make our way around back anyway. So I responded to your email, Isaac. But when it comes to everything, I will make sure that we can at least talk within the week. Thank you,
My pleasure.
Okay. In my own conclusion, I think even if it's not Nigeria, we have Benin Republic closer to Lagos. You can set up shop there, then scale to Nigeria and Ghana and the rest of the West Africa. It is possible to do. You understand? You don't.
That's also true. Yeah.
Yeah. You don't need to be Nigeria. Even Togo is there. You understand me? Cameroon is there. That's at the border with us.
Well, my thing was like manufacturing and like power stations. That's what I was talking to the Nigerian brother yesterday.
A big business idea, Nigeria is the place, my brother. I won't lie to you. You know,
yeah,
power have a real business idea, a real big one. You know, Nigeria
I think power station will be the next cash cow in Nigeria. Energy, so that's a good place to invest in. Yeah, because even some of the top guys now, they all purchase the energy sector. For instance, Davido's dad is part of that industry, energy industry. Yes,
because Dinas, you got Goldman Sachs saying 1.2 trillion by 2029.
Right,
that's a lot of money
for Nigeria. So all the corporations hasn't left.
Yeah, they're not going anywhere. So, hey, everyone, thank you so much for joining. Like, share, subscribe. Until next time, family, Dinas and Research for the Root.
Peace, brother. Yeah.